and Brian was such a spokesperson and leader. He was like the father of our show. You know, he was such a good guy.
Yeah.
To like in 6 years, man, he never showed up late to the set. He was always the first guy on the set. So that set the tone for everybody else.
Yeah. It's like
right?
sports, man. It's like the captain of the team.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, all right, that motherfucker, I'm gonna beat
Brian,
his ass.
can you show up an hour late, bro?
I'm gonna sleep in.
You said cool jacket to that, haven't I?
No,
I haven't.
No, you did not.
Do you have a different blue jacket?
Oh, you mean maybe like a different time you said this?
Yeah.
Or today?
No, it's a different time.
You might have said it already.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So you lose. You didn't say it the first time.
You don't know for sure.
I said
don't know for
said
sure.
about a new blue jacket.
Then it's this.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Wait, you said that you said.
Yeah, I said that's a cool jacket.
No, but you didn't say it's not. Oh, okay. All right. You win. Well, you know what I did win is the 11:30
Definitively.
Oh, wait, I forgot to reply to that. I was driving yesterday.
No, definitively.
What are you talking about definitively?
We've had to we've had to clarify how many times we've done, like, what time we do the episode, like 1,000 times.
This is like the second time ever.
No.
This is like the second time.
Oh,
we did it last week.
Bless your heart.
Oh, you can.
You said last week we also moved it, and you referenced even last week.
First of all, you remember that the year started with like 6 in a row, right?
Yeah.
There were a couple in a row. But
then
it was like 6 of 8.
I acknowledged that because I'm classy. I stopped acknowledging it because I was just running up the score. Like, yeah,
there might have been something
in the first,
but the burden is not to be more often than not on her. It's just that it needs to be done more often than you. You know what I mean? We will.
No, the fact that you even bothered to send the text is proof positive that I'm right.
Because you made such a big deal about it being 11:30.
Because we always do it at 11:30,
Always.
and you have to do something at 12:30 today, so we had to move it up a half hour.
But I had that last week as well, and then
not really since January.
But
Okay, but first of all, the thing was for the month of January, we said whoever gets the most time changes.
I think
wins.
that ended up being a split. I think that ended up being 2-2, and then I think since then it's been all me. It's been 11:30.
The fact, her, you need to be at like 98% for you to be right.
Yeah,
she needs to be
I
like
was
50-50.
being classy by
I'm at like
letting
90.
you.
I'm pretty goddamn close.
No, it's twice a week for January, February, March, April, right? Yeah. So 8 episodes.
I'm comfortable with what's happening.
32 episodes. The whole month of January was like all to Jackie. It's probably close to 50-50.
Yeah.
But the very fact that you sent the text is like, hey, we're not going to 11:30 tomorrow, guys. We're going to 11.
No, but that's her point. Is that those texts need to be sent sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, for sure. But
pretty often.
They've stopped coming as often. They used to be weekly. And it would always be 11:30 tomorrow, 11:30 tomorrow, and we go, yep.
Yeah. That's true. Okay, yeah.
But do you think that if you had made such a big deal about it being an 11:30 start time, that we would have felt the need to? Wait, I forgot where I was going.
That's another point.
No. That doesn't count.
That's a point. That's a point. You would have been better just shut your mouth there. You're gonna open your mouth in an argument. You have a point. You don't have a point. He has a point.
Keep fighting.
He's right that the text. What did stop is the 11:30 tomorrow, 11:30 tomorrow, 11:30 tomorrow. But the same frequency of needing to tweak have
not the same. This is the second time it's been these past 2 weeks.
But now you're basing it off of when it was a crazy time in her favor. It's back to normal. It was insane for her.
No, January wasn't last month. January was 3 months ago. There's been a lot of times since then where we weren't sending update texts.
We also we're doing December too again, and I was like, hey, just so you know, like, it's December. We'll officially start the count in January. But just so you know, like, we did have to clarify. We did have to move the time from 11:30.
And I acknowledged it in the moment when we were talking. I was like, this is a bad start for me.
Yeah, it's a bad start. But let's just remember, like, the points off the back end. Like, what has transpired in February and March has, lest we not forget, December and November. Okay?
Oh, now we're bringing November into the mix?
Yeah.
No, we started January.
No, I wasn't going to play dirty until you started playing dirty. January was a thing. I clearly won.
Yeah.
What I said, we agreed upon a formal apology this doesn't sound like one.
I don't hear an apology. I'm going to be honest.
This
I
doesn't sound
don't
like an
think
apology.
you're getting an apology.
I don't think you are either.
I'll acknowledge that the very start of this contest was bad for me. I'll acknowledge that a quarter of the year passed, and then now this week has been resolute for me. Yeah, Kevin's like, hey guys, can't go 11:30 tomorrow. I go, that's all right. We'll go earlier. Thanks for the update.
but again, 11:30. This was my point before, but 11:30 became the official okay, we're all gonna
Yeah,
agree
I
on
think you're moving the
11:30.
goalposts a little bit.
Yeah.
Because when the argument started, it was like, it's insane to ever think that we're going at any other time than 11:30. And we go at different times than 11:30 pretty frequently.
The normal time, our standard time is 11:30.
Is 11:30.
That was always my point. Our
You established that. You did establish that.
But I didn't establish it. Our routine established it. I just acknowledged our routine.
Well, okay,
I don't give a fuck what time we record.
You made the proclamation. It was based on that's our general time.
Yeah.
But I was always like, I don't know, is it 11, is it 11:30, sometimes this, sometimes that. You were like, bam, it's 11:30, but starting then. And then it was not 11:30.
It wasn't. It was just acknowledging what's happened over the last year. I don't care what time we record.
If you had, before you made a big deal about it being 11:30, if you had gun to our head, literally somebody's holding a gun to all of our head, and they said, what time? You guys all have to agree on the same time. You can't talk to each other. What time do you guys start? We all probably would have come to 11:30.
This is my point.
But
yeah, that was the
no.
We're gonna edit that out.
The texts are, what time are we recording tomorrow? No. I was saying we can stop with those. We recorded 11:30.
It's like when you're on the same side of an argument with Nate.
I have to stop talking. But I would also say that if the gun was anywhere.
Okay, yeah, sure. We always record at 11:30.
Sure, if we independently were told what time, we'd all say 11:30.
I'm saying if the gun is anywhere else in the room, if it's not actually a life or death situation, I was kind of like, this guy's probably not going to shoot me if I don't say 11:30. then I would probably be like, I don't know, we don't really have a set time. We probably start 11, sometimes 11:30, sometimes 12. Do you understand, big difference between gun being in the room and gun being at the head? And I don't know how strong of an argument that was, but
that's going to be my new thing. When people, instead of saying gun to my head, so gun in the room, you're under a 30% threat of death. You might beat him to the gun. You might be able to kill him.
The guy's
it's a whole thing.
70% blind. Who has it?
That was tough.
You guys want to hear a crazy story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, my sister is gay as the day is long. So she
scored the most points in basketball history. Super gay.
Is that a saying, or did you just come up with that?
As the day is long is it just means very.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Oh, that's super loud. That sounded like a gunshot. Yeah. Okay.
That was crazy. What time, Jackie? So she decides that she wants to propose to her fiance.
Oh.
So she calls my sister-in-law and she's like, "Can you help me set this up? Help me get the ring. I want to get the ring from here. I want to get this kind of ring. I want to do the proposal at Baker's Beach, which is the beach that we grew up going to." And my sister-in-law, my brother's wife, is like, "Yeah, of course. Let's pick out the ring. Let's go. Blah blah blah." So they go, they do all that, they get the ring. Everything all set up. What month is it? April 18th, 17th, whatever Friday was. April 18th, they're going to propose. She's going to propose to her at the beach. They go ring shopping. 2 weeks later, Hannah, my sister-in-law, gets a call from my sister's girlfriend. And she goes, "Yo, I want to propose." She goes, "I want to propose. Can you help me out?"
I was about to say this. Yeah.
And Hannah, my sister-in-law, is like, "Yeah, of course.
You gotta let him go.
What do you want to do?"
Yeah.
She goes, "I want to get the ring from here,
Baker's Beach,
and I want to get the ring. I want to propose at Baker's Beach."
Oh my God.
On April 18th.
On April 18th.
No way!
Yes.
So they both. So they're like
man.
the whole. It was 3 months of this, and it was at one point I think my sister's girlfriend called my mom and was like, "I'd like your permission to propose to Neely, blah blah blah." And my mom already knew
Got
the
all
plan.
confused, I'm sure.
And she's like,
my mom would totally blow that.
She had the phone on mute going, she's fucking with us. She knows, and she's just telling us the plan. Like, she knows what's happening. And my dad's like, I don't think she knows. She doesn't seem like she knows. So they unmute the phone and like, and where do you want to do this proposal? And she's like, Baker's Beach, April 18th. And they're like,
I mean, that would be, I would be like, come on.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
So they didn't reveal it then, but I can't imagine my mom gave the most like approved yes.
I'm sure.
She was like confused, being like, I guess.
I'm sure she hung up the phone being like, I think I'm not allowed to marry my wife. Like, fuck. I thought that was a formality these days.
And so they went to but then because they both asked the same person, because they had both asked Hannah to like be in the dunes and take pictures and do all that kind of stuff. So they're both walking on the beach going, Hannah's in the dunes, she's gonna take pictures of this. And then it gets to like I think they put Hannah and my brother had put like
Was Hannah getting paid by both? Or like
no, getting paid by either of them. She's not a wedding planner. She's just a friend.
Sorry. I gotta stop talking this episode. Sorry.
And so they put like a daffodil or some kind of yellow flower on the beach so that they both.
Again, though, Hannah's made this plan with both of them.
Yes.
Go to the yellow daffodil.
Go to the yellow daffodil.
This is unbelievable.
And she's
like an episode of The Office or something. This is crazy.
She's texting them. My brother's helped with her in the dunes, and they're both texting him like, Hannah, we're in place. I'm sorry, Paulina, we're in place. Drew, we're in place.
Yeah.
And they're just copy and pasting the same text between both of them. And then the girls, Neely and Drew, are arguing on the beach about who planned this date because they both want to think that they planned it. They're like, this is my date. And they're like walking down the beach having that argument. And she's like, no, this is my date. I'm the one who planned. This is like, I wanted you to be
like
here.
Fighting and bickering before you get married.
And then my sister, like, she did like a fake thing with her like sock or whatever, so that she could fall behind and bend down. And her girlfriend, or fiance now, turned around with just like the meanest, not actually, but like, you son of a bitch.
I was gonna say then you're like, you don't realize that you're in a race, but you're in a race to get down on one knee.
Right. And she said, and then she let her say her piece, and she's like, all right, up. My turn.
So good.
I've seen like videos of that.
Yeah, there's one like famous one at Disney.
Disney, yes, exactly.
Yeah. Which just kind of sucks because they're Disney weirdos. But yeah, they're like, I mean that's the first time that probably happened publicly, virally. It's something that's never happened before, because it's always on art. You know what I mean? I fuck with the lesbians who have to do that, because it's a bitch, and it's just something that girls just don't have to deal with. And it's like, how much does this suck, right? It's hard. It's nerve-wracking, expensive. It's hard. It's scary.
They were all like, I think my mom, because my mom had put it together. Again, everything I'm telling, like everyone who told me the story was so excited that like, it's all little pieces of it. Where I'm like, okay, I think this is what happened here. But the my mom like put it together. She never told anybody. Because she didn't like, she's like, I don't want to slip out. Beans, And like 3 days before the engagement, it slipped out that my sister-in-law knew. I was like, you've known this whole time.
Like, I've been talking to you about this.
Like, no, you've known this whole time.
What is funny there, though, I mean, I guess, I don't know how this works, but there would be part of me that'd be like, we could have saved some money here. I don't know if in general do girls get each other rings. It's a pretty one-way street with straight guys and girls. But if girls get each other's rings, then it's no big deal. But if not, it'd be like, can we return one of these?
I learned the exact same thing where I was like, so I found out about it probably like last Wednesday, and my first reaction was like, oh, they're probably going to draw straws to see who returns the ring.
Yeah.
But I don't think, I think it's pretty standard.
They both get
that. Like both women get a ring. Yeah.
I was going to say, give me like a Jewish lesbian couple being like, well, do we at least get a 2-for-1 deal? Did he hold us? You know. That is awesome.
Yeah. It was very fun.
So when they were like bickering on the beach.
They weren't like, first of all, to be clear, they weren't
I know.
But
actually. Like when did they kind of start to realize it? Like
I did. I don't think,
from what I understand, it would take me getting hit with a fucking brick over the head to realize
because I'd be so in my own world.
Yeah, you're worried about what you're gonna do and making sure it's perfect, and you're looking at your photographer. Like everything is I can't even imagine what it would take for me to be like, I'm about to get proposed to also.
Right. I've never proposed, but I can't believe or can't imagine that there's another day when you have more tunnel vision. than your proposal day. Where you're like, I am focusing on these 3 things that I need to get done.
Yeah.
So I can have that step, so I can get to that step, so I can get to that step.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it would be. I mean, I can't even fathom it as a straight guy because it just is never going to happen.
Right.
Like, it's just not a thing you ever even consider. But it would take a lot, I think, to realize, to be like, am I gonna get proposed to right now? that would be a mind fuck. Because then I'd be like, wait a minute, should I let her? She wants to, but I want to. I mean, that would be a fuck. Imagine if you figured that out, and you somehow knew that she it was her dream, or I don't know, whatever. You wouldn't be doing it if you knew it was someone's dream. But imagine if you swallowed it and just were like, I'm not gonna do it. I'll let you have this moment. Wow, man, that is crazy.
I mean, how you pick the same day?
Same place.
Yeah. Like the beach is like.
Is there any significance to the day or no?
I don't know. I don't believe so. I don't know.
Yeah.
The beach is just like we all go to the beach a lot. So the beach, my other sister, who's engaged, also got proposed to on that beach. And then my brother proposed at a beach, but a different beach. So the beach is pretty standard.
Yeah.
But the day, I was like, how the fuck do you end up on the same goddamn day?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Man.
That is so crazy. I guess they're just really in sync.
Yeah.
Working for each other.
I guess they should maybe get married.
Is there video or anything? Or just pictures?
There is. I've seen it, but I don't have it.
Because I want it. That Disney one is good because the girl is I don't know how I would do it. The way she does it is probably on the table for me to be like, get up, I'm doing make a joke of it. But that the Disney one, the girl is just immediately like, oh my god, no, you're never gonna believe it. It's pulls it out right away too. I mean that is the best all-time coincidence you can have.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I intentionally didn't tell you guys. I've known, like I said, I've known since last Wednesday. I was like, I'm gonna tell them live on the show, but I was like, what do you mean? They got the same rings at the same place, chose the same beach on the same day.
I'll tell you what.
How is that fucking possible?
Whoever is the priest or speaker at the wedding, the story is told.
I'm gonna be a priest, brother.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean that story writes itself. The amount of well, I guess we're made for each other. Can't get more fucking obvious than that.
Were
That's
you
crazy.
was it when you did it? Was it the whole day's ruined? You were just thinking about it the whole day, or could you take in the moment at all?
Yeah, I mean it was. It's a struggle to make sure they get their nails done. We went out to dinner, and it was kind of we went to dinner, and then I was gonna do it at home, and then we had a party at the bar. So it was a little bit of a time crunch to be I want to make sure we get to the bar by 8:00 or whatever. But it was it was pretty okay. It went pretty smoothly, but making sure the nails and the dressed up. If you don't do that stuff normally, you know what I mean? It's why do I have to put on a nice outfit right now? We're going to the bar,
That was another thing because they're both teachers, or they both work at the high school. They're on vacation, so they're going on vacation. So they both were like, "Get your nails done for vacation."
Yeah, yeah. I can't remember what my reasoning was. I think she knew we were going to the bar for something else. I can't remember what. I think it was around her birthday. I don't know, something like that. But it wasn't a totally, the plan was set for other reasons as well.
Yeah.
I think about this because I'm allergic to nail polish. So when I think I'm gonna get proposed to, I have to think a year in which is probably soon. So I should start doing this now. But I have to think a year in advance. I have to start microdosing nail polish so I get less allergic to it, so that by the time I'm getting engaged, again, I should get on this now, then I won't be allergic, and then I can have my full
Why don't you just start doing that now?
There's where I was gonna go. Yeah.
No, it really makes me flare up.
Even if you micro it, even if it's
But why don't you just
well,
start?
because I have to do
the
one nail
microdose.
at a time. I would have to do one nail at a time. It's kind of
they don't make some sort of
nail.
whatever free nail polish.
Yeah, they don't have
They do.
lambskin nail
Paraben-free.
polish.
They do, but it lasts one day. So it's I could do that now. That's what I do now. But when I get engaged,
That's all you need. The one day.
I guess.
Nah, you need a lot more than that. No one's proposing to a chick fucking can't have nail polish on.
Hey, take your ugly man hands with your mangled nails. Go get some marker
I'm
and
also
color.
allergic to nail polish. Have better sex with Blue Chew. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. And starting now, Blue Chew is offering a combo so strong, it'll knock your socks off. and your neighbor's socks off too. You'll have to move towns with the amount of noise you'll be making. Blue Chew Max has arrived, and it combines the active ingredients of Viagra and Cialis into one chewable. This combo acts fast and it lasts, folks. Guys, be ready when she needs it. Be ready when she needs it. And get your first month free of Blue Chew. I said free. That's right. Great sex is only a few clicks away. Sign up at BlueChew.com. Consult with one of their licensed medical providers. And once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. Blue Chew tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped directly to your door. The best part? All done online, of course. That means no visits to the doctor's office, no walk-up conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew won't stop until every man is bricked up like a brick house. That is the mission. Make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try your first month of Blue Chew for free when you use promo code KFC. Just pay $5 shipping. That is promo code KFC for your first month of Blue Chew for free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the pod.
Anybody watch The Last of Us?
Okay. I think everyone's punking me because no one's brought it up to me yet. I've been here for like an hour and a half. That was like one of the best episodes of TV ever, right?
Period.
Okay.
You watch it, dude. It was phenomenal.
It was. I mean, that was insane.
And you know what I love is
Pabs, you might want to leave the room, brother.
Yeah, you definitely should. Yeah. Do you watch or do you not care?
I might leave the room too.
It's definitely, if you're gonna watch, then go. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't really matter for you. You're gonna edit it.
We can just not. You don't have to edit this part and just start and stop.
Okay.
Fuck Jackie. Fuck Pats.
Dude, that was crazy.
Bro, I don't know if it's just because it was that good or I'm watching so much television these days. Like, as I was watching that, I was like, I felt it. I don't know if it, like, Last of Us is a big-time show, HBO, 9 o'clock Sunday. It is a big show. But because I think of it as like a video game and I'm always like kind of watching it like adapt and all that, I don't think of it as like an epic TV show. I was like, this is Game of Thrones. This is Game of Thrones.
Last night, same thing.
And
I was like,
for
Thrones
obvious
is
reasons.
fully back.
Yeah,
dude, there were 3 separate times in that episode that I thought, oh, it's going to end right here.
Could have been.
And next episode is that, and that's going to be great.
Right.
Like when they were ringing the bells and the feet zombies are pattering towards town.
Yeah, they could have cut and been like, next episode is going to be
right now, and next episode will be the battle for town.
Yeah.
It just kept going.
Yeah.
Right. Then when fucking Caitlin Devers, whatever her name is, the chick who like was off on her own, gets rescued by Joel and Dina.
Yeah.
When they get back to the cabin, and she's like, and that third guy,
Joel. Could have cut there.
I was like, okay. I was like, okay. So the next episode's gonna be like,
what are they gonna do with them?
Right?
Yeah.
And then when fucking Ellie gets there, I was like, cut. Next episode is Ellie.
That's why they're so gangster.
And they just kept giving it to us,
dude. I think that's I think it's an old school way of thinking to stretch that shit out.
Yeah.
And I understand why TV showrunners and all that shit do it, because you get like 3 episodes, right? But I think what's better for the health of a show is to have one
stacked
episode like that, where you could be like, episode 2 was epic. I mean, to have the battle, usually in those Game of Thrones and all those things, it's like the battle is the episode.
The whole episode.
The fact that they gave you those battles, and the battle was like three different things, really, with a storyline. You could give me the Joel storyline, and the rest of the episode could be dog shit,
right.
And that episode's epic. You could give me all of the battles with no other storyline. It's epic. Put it together, all-time episode.
Wait, so is he dead?
He's dead, bro.
I think he's dead too.
No. I mean, he's dead.
Right, but like,
I guess you could in the show, like, nah, he's dead, bro.
Well, the only thing I thought of, and I don't know anything about the game, so this is just me watching, using what I've seen and thinking. I thought maybe like there's some like the mountain type shit with like how the smart, how they're getting like
come
smart,
back to life.
how like there's like some kind of thing.
I mean,
to bring it back.
The show, like that, all that battle shit is not in the game. So like they are doing whatever they want with the game show, with the TV show. But I never in a trillion years, I knew the storyline of the game, and I know this is right when he gets killed, and I was like, there's no way they're gonna kill him. He's Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
He's their golden goose. He's like the show, and then I heard that the game is so long they were gonna break the game into 2 seasons, and I was like, all right, so they'll probably kill him at the end of this season, and then have a whole other season to do the rest of the game. Right. And then I read an interesting article with the showrunner saying, because so many people knew what was coming, they didn't want every episode to be like, does it happen? Does it happen? Does it happen? They said we don't want to torment people with it, which I think is cool. And then they said for the people who don't know what's coming, they're gonna be floored.
I
actually don't like it. Like I think I would have been shocked and sobbing had I not known it was coming.
See, I was kind of the opposite, where I didn't know it was coming. Like, it did not, that at no point
even entered your mind, right?
Was it like he's gonna die right now?
Right.
Like,
that's why it's cool.
Even when the thing's in, I'm like, would you get him in the shoulder?
Yeah, like, it was a little bit low. Like you would think you would do like in the head. Yeah. In the game, she just tees off on his head with a golf club. It's just like a to the temple, like kill shot. Like
really?
I think the game is even more brutal.
And that's where he's done. And that's
in the game he's done. Like
so
you're
Pedro
now,
Pascal had arguably the most shocking death of all time, and now he's beaten it. Like with the Viper?
Yeah, yes. 2 times we watched Pedro Pascal get fucking his head smoked in 2 of the biggest shows ever.
And honestly, the fact that he's dead, it actually, because I was thinking that Pedro Pascal had a time machine. Because he's in too many massive
things all at the same
projects.
time. Yeah,
I was like,
crazy.
You can't be doing The Mandalorian, Fantastic Four, Last of Us, and there's some other. I want to say there's one more like major
thing.
IP that he's attached to. I was like, you can't. Those are the 4 biggest things in the world in entertainment.
But he's not really doing.
You can't be all of them. Yeah. And so like, now it makes sense that he's probably not.
I would imagine there's a little flashback. Like it seems weird that they introduced that therapist character and then like. Like Catherine O'Hara's a big actor. Like I don't know what's gonna happen there.
But does Ellie go to her now?
Maybe. I mean, again, that's not in the game, so I don't know. It could be there. Man, that was fucking.
I mean,
so sick. Dude.
I've been scared to be hyperbolic about it. I mean, it's a top 3 episode all time.
It really,
right?
it really is. Like
television. Television as a whole.
I think we are in a really good spot with TV right now, where they are making mini movies for a lot of different shows. So I feel like recently I've been like, this is one of the best, and this is one of the best, and this is one of the best. But that was like,
it had
Thrones epic.
It was
all of it.
That was I can't. I still like. I haven't even talked about it to anybody until right now. Like, I can't.
Dude, when they slam into the wall and
and
the door just shaking when they're deciding where to go, and like the plan they had is a good one. They put the oil, roofs and basements, put the oil barrels out into the thing. They shoot it and burn it.
So genius.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is gonna work. Like
this is how I used to do in Age of Empires. This is pretty smart.
Yeah, I mean that was as good as it had. Felt like Hard Home, where like the battle with the White Walkers.
Yes.
So I remember when he makes them raise up. At
the end.
Because
exactly.
I mean there was an obvious. There's 2. I mean, it was very large scale battle. But it's also drawing Game of Thrones comparisons because it was White Walkers in the snow.
It was White Walkers. Yeah, it was. I think they even had that like the cut of the feet back to town, like rustling, like
watching them come,
trying to get ready.
Yes, So that was very and like good. Like that's a good thing to go after.
Yeah.
But I would put that up there with Battle of the Bastards, Blackwater Bay, Castle Black. Like all of the battles, awesome. The death, awesome. Like top battles, top death scene. All in one.
Scene, I can't get over
she's
it.
laying on top of him at the end.
There was such a good shot when it cuts to like the ceiling shot and it's
all
just 2 of
alone.
them. Yeah, it was.
They said they brought in a crane shot for that one scene because they wanted it to feel like an empty room.
And, dude, it was.
I mean, that to me,
when
like,
she's going, get up, Joel. I honestly, I was trying to process it in my head because it wasn't a realistic possibility. It never entered my mind that he could be dying.
I don't even think for game people it was. Again, for me, and I think a lot of people probably would have said, they're not going to kill Pedro Pascal this soon. So it really wasn't on the table for me. And then she shoots him in the leg with the gun. And I'm like, in that world, you're fucked if you get shot like that.
Yes.
That's not like, you're not surviving that no matter what.
Right.
So
it's either
I was like,
a zombie's going to bite you or they're going to kill you, but you're not living long.
Right. So I was like, oh, it's happening. And then I'm like, they're going to fucking do it right now. Shit.
But then I at the end of the episode, they kind of have the future. Or what's coming next week.
Right.
He's in it. So maybe it's flashbacks. I don't know how often they'll utilize that.
If they bring him, I will be mad if they bring him back.
Like a lot.
Yeah. Like
but it is like we said, or like you said, because I didn't know that. Maybe they kind of want to rehash the last 5 years. So maybe that's where she goes to therapy. She starts talking about Joel.
Right. They did a little bit of that with Abby had like a dream in the very beginning where she walks past herself. And she's talking to herself.
I didn't know what was happening in that scene.
That was her.
So
that was like a.
That was an issue. It actually, it resolved itself. But at that point, going from episode 1 into that scene, I was like, I think Caitlin Devers and Bella Ramsey look too much alike.
Yeah, well, that's because they're supposed to be like similar.
I was like, I can't tell who's
Jack,
who.
But...
I get like, again, since I'd only seen them share a screen for 60 minutes. Now that I've had 120, I get it.
Yeah,
more.
so you thought that was Ellie talking to her.
I was like, who were those two people talking? Yeah.
But
so
if they're doing shit like that, there could be it's in like Ellie's head or it's a flashback.
Yeah.
I think you'll see him more because like I don't think this can be the end of Pedro Pascal because he's too good.
Yeah.
It's like usually when you do shit like that, you kind of cast somebody who's like not that good. But in this show, it's like he's the guy. Like I really respect them just being like, this is the story.
Right.
He dies.
But
like, you gotta fucking kill him.
The more I think about it now or talk it out with you, I do think he's going to be in the rest of the season.
The whole season, you think? I think a couple. I don't know.
I think it'll
be
be
like 8 episodes to go.
I think it'll be an 11-11-30 situation where like he's going to be in a lot. Whether you count it like the whole, just because I'm thinking about the Eugene storyline, we don't know anything about. Like we're gonna see that kill, and we're gonna see how that happened and all that. We're gonna see what happened with Ellie and Joel, and I think all that's gonna be found out through therapy.
Yeah.
So
which I don't hate that. If there's some sort of flashbacks, that's fine, as long as there's not like a he's alive or
Yeah, as long as episode 3 doesn't start 4 years earlier.
Yeah, right.
What the fuck did we do that for?
Yes, agreed. Would you? What are your thoughts on Abby?
Abby is Caitlin Devers.
Yes, I think. I don't know.
I thought she was great. I thought she was like, I remember seeing on Twitter when she was first announced as the actress, like people like I guess Abby's jacked.
She's so big, dude.
And so like
almost
how's this chick
so.
gonna play that chick? Yeah. Again, if I didn't play the video game, so I don't know. But I thought she was a great psychopath.
Totally. Well, that was like in the game, she is so big that it's like believable she could beat the fucking shit out of Joel. This felt a little. I mean, when you're tied up and you've been shot in the leg, you can get beat up. When someone hits you with a golf club, it's not that big of a deal. But it just felt like almost like an even fight with Abby and Joel in the game. And this was like she's a little bit smaller. But I fucking hate her. And I think there is. I've never really read the book first or played a game first in a movie or TV show. Being on this side of it is awesome because. Watching what people think and what they're saying about Abby right now and knowing where it goes or what, like it's gonna I just don't want to say too much, but if they can do what they did in the game on television, it will be one of the greatest accomplishments in TV history.
Really?
Because like in a game, it's one thing to do what they do when you're just watching TV and you have who you like and who you don't like and the heroes and the villains, like, and if they do it, it's gonna be fucking sick. And I hope they do because there's so many people right now being like, fuck Abby, and I'm just like, just wait. And they're like, and people have been like, no, like she's done, and I'm like, just wait. And they, so
I don't like hate Abby. I think she killed someone I really like, but I don't think in that world
she did it particularly heinous.
Yeah, that's true. It was
a bit much. I mean, when the rest of the gang who was like on the mission with her, like, stop.
Joel would have done that shit to someone who fucking killed his dad.
So, I mean, it's a really good. It's like Wicked. It's kind of like looking at it from the other angle, and like. And Joel is like so beloved, but when you look at like he fucking slaughtered 18 people
and tortured people. Remember,
tortured those guys, killed the doctor. Like
I very much of the belief, like, look, if you're doing that shit, someone might do it to you one day.
Totally,
right?
totally. And really, I always had a little bit of a problem with what Joel did in general, like. And this is why him and Ellie have this like strained relationship because I think even Ellie was like. You should have let me die. Like you should have saved the world. And I always thought that was a little bit like much. Like I know you love this girl, but like you could save the world. Right. I mean, that's why it's a great. As a father figure, at least you understand where he came from, but you understand the other side of it, where they were willing to sacrifice her.
But I think he also like. I would sacrifice myself to save the world if you give me 100% chance
it's going to happen. Yeah.
If you give me 99% chance, guess what? You're not getting it.
Right.
Like,
that's why it's a perfect thing.
Give me 100% chance my death will save the world.
But bro, the way Ellie even says in this episode when she stops the Asian guy and she's like, "It's Joel and Ellie and Joel forever."
Yeah, right.
Forever.
Right.
Like we're we have our shit, but it's Joel and Ellie and Joel, and we'll always be that. We're fine. We're good. And I was like, oh, it is, but it's
that's
not
what again,
be.
Like, because I didn't know anything. I was like, when she pulled up, I was like, oh, she's gonna go fucking save his ass. Let's go. And then she's like, get up, Joel. And I honestly, like, I was doing like the math in my head where I was already mad at the show.
Yeah.
where I was like, he's gonna get up, and like he's not in a position to get up.
He's got no
like,
leg, 8 people. No, they don't. I mean, and I mean the like they did a good job of. There was enough of like a time lapse where you realize that she's been beating him the whole time.
Yeah,
They didn't show it the whole time because that would be like a little gratuitous, but it took a while for Ellie to get there. You see her start beating him, and it takes a while for Ellie to get there, and he's still beating him.
You see, she starts beating him, and she's still on the horse.
Yes.
And then like
she comes all the way up, and it's still
end it. Oh man,
I mean, brutal. And she, that after show had some of the makeup artist was talking about like this was like the most important moment of his career to nail that the Joel makeup.
Yeah.
And it's funny watching him like they're like brushing him. He's laying face on the floor, flat down, still eyes moving awake, and they're like action, and just goes she has to like lay on top of what's supposed to be his bloody ass face. I mean, to me that's one of the all time Joel and Ellie and Joel are like ride or die. That was so sick. I love it in the moment when you can realize you're watching great TV. I was like, and it really was. Again, I watch it through the lens of like, is this like the game or not like the game? That's pretty much like the whole time. So I kind of like, it's different from other shows. And when the when the avalanche starts.
Yes, dude.
And I was like,
yes,
oh. I was like, this is like some epic shit. I didn't quite, the only critique I have is 2 things. One, it's a show where like 1 or 2 infected are like a problem.
Yeah.
And now there was an army. It was more like a battle with humans where like I'm fighting you and they're fighting over here. I feel like you would just get overrun by, you know what I mean? It was not a human battle. That was an infected battle. And they should have been more dead people,
I didn't notice anyone, and maybe I'm confusing my zombie stories.
There's like a couple people
you turn pretty quick with this one, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see anyone turn.
Right.
Which was like,
somebody in my comments said, how about the scene at the end where they were putting down the people who had been bitten? I must have missed that. But if there was a scene at the end where they were going through, like, all right, you got to go, you got to go, you got to go.
It's I think what they're referring to is on that last, it starts in like a watchtower, a shot, and then it comes down and it meets the black guy, the black wife, and the and Joel's brother,
Maria, whatever.
And so like the scene, the camera shot starts up there, and then like kind of slowly zooms in on them. But what you see in the first shot is a bit guard handing his gun to someone else, and then the gun goes
shoot
off.
him.
And,
Okay.
So
like I think they should have showed a little bit more of that for just like to be realistic, and also the gravitas of like we all got to kill each other now is fucked up.
Yeah.
And I guess like. Maybe there was no like once Abby like fell down the thing into them, they like woke up because there was human to eat or something. Like why were they all just fucking sleeping if they're still alive? You know what I mean?
I don't think they were sleeping. It was they referenced earlier in the episode when I don't know the Asian kid who talks
I can't remember his name either.
But he was explaining to Ellie how there are rumors of super smart ones that she's been saying.
Right.
And then he said there are also reports of, some scout team who had found them laying under frozen bodies as camouflage.
Okay. So the ones on top were dead, and then there's got
it.
I thought it was something like they're like frozen and like kind of waiting, and then like a human came and the pipes with the little spores like woke them up.
I think it's just.
I guess that makes sense. Then,
the top layer. Again, he was kind of explaining it
climbing out
while they were. I think it was when they were walking to the guy with the stakes to apologize to him.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But he was like, yeah, they're like they're getting smarter is what they were
even the
saying.
fact that they knew to leave the big fence and go to the small fence.
Yeah.
The bloater is a like when you fight the bloaters, it's like it was very real the way Tommy was like, you keep hitting it with the flamethrower and like it's like when will this fucking thing die? And it gets to you and then like collapses. That was very real. But man, I mean, I really like that there is a risk, and I saw some people being like, I don't think I'm gonna like this show anymore without Joel, and like we'll see. I think they're doing it right. I think the fact that they were willing to do that shows that they're doing it right, and that it'll probably will be good. So I think they'll be wrong. Hopefully they're wrong. But like you do run that risk of like,
the same thought definitely crossed my mind.
Yeah,
but they've also done enough that they have the grace for the rest of the season.
Totally.
Season 3 I might not check back in.
I would rather a show commit to a thing and do it right than just be like, well, we're gonna change the story to keep our cash cow in it, you know?
Right.
And like when they killed Ned Stark in Game of Thrones, like I mean, Pedro Pascal is like Ned Stark became a star on that. You know what I mean? Like Pedro Pascal is like an A-list.
But Aaron Beam was a big. He was like he'd already done GoldenEye. He'd done.
Yeah. But I'm saying like
he never.
It was not like, hey, are you guys watching
Sean
Game of Thrones starring? What's his name? Sean what?
Sean Bean.
Sean Bean. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was not. You know what I mean?
Right,
He was in it.
no.
This is like.
I see what you're saying.
Pedro Pascal is The Last of Us.
Yes.
And I will see how I think it's her time to shine now, Bella Ramsey. Like I do think it's a little bit of a weird casting thing. And so like if and there's some people who really don't like that, and if it's now her show and she doesn't like come through for people and Pedro Pascal's gone, you do run the risk. So we'll see. I think that they're gonna do it well. I think that shows that they're committed to like doing the story right. I think Abby is like pretty fucking crazy and a good actress, so I think it'll be fine. But you really like there's definitely some HBO execs and showrunners and producers who are like, I hope this is the right call. Like we got a good thing going here. Don't fuck it up. Like I genuinely think they deserve credit for that, because when there's so much money and careers and all that shit on the line, it's a lot easier to just say, let's do like 4 or 5 more episodes of Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
You know? And they were just like, no.
I had no idea what to expect last night. We both agreed episode 1 was like, it was fine. You know, it did what it had to do, but it wasn't like you gotta watch this. It was like, you know, if this was episode 1, I wouldn't even tell them to get out of the room.
Right.
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 But then episode like this level of episode is reserved for the 7, 8, the penultimate.
Yeah.
This is like, I was like, episode 2.
Yeah. It almost does like harm the Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey stuff is opinion. Like it is a fact that it's going to be a hard 7 episodes after this, 8 episodes.
Right.
Like the bar can't go much higher, you know? But yeah, that was like, I think The Last of Us has been a good show. Kind of living. I don't know if there was.
I would have called it good before I watched your recap, and then I was like, "Wait, this is fucking."
Yeah,
I forgot how goddamn awesome.
I
this
agree.
was.
When I was doing it myself, I was like, "Oh yeah, this, that, the other thing."
Like every episode had like a major thing where it's like, "Oh yeah, that was awesome." Oh yeah, that's
was
awesome.
a big deal. I think. I mean, again, knowing like the game is so long, there's like 3, 4 more like groups and changes, and like the show has a lot of room to go. You know. I wonder if it didn't have a game attached to it, like how popular it would be, because it would be like just another zombie show then or whatever. But I think that, you know, so good, maybe, you know, better than good episode like that. You start talking like this is, you know, must-see TV, water cooler talk, all that shit.
Completely. Again, I loved Last of Us. After, you know, in the off season, I was like, yeah, that show's pretty good. And then I watched your recap, and I was like, wait, that show's fucking awesome. And now I'm like, this is one of the greatest shows of all time.
It really, and it has a lot of potential to even get better.
I'm obviously very early with that, but I mean, I'm as locked in as I can be on
You
Sunday
can't,
nights.
you know, whatever, we'll see what happens in the series, but that episode is inarguably like one of the best ever.
Yeah. I mean, it's a complete movie. Yeah. How long was it?
It must have been, because I felt the same thing. Like, nah, it's gonna stop. Yeah.
Like, no, it's gonna keep going.
It just kept going. Oh.
I thought if you would ask me, like if you had given me all of these things that happen in this episode, war in Jackson Hole, Caitlin Devers finally finds Joel, Ellie saves Joel die, all this stuff, I'd be like, that happens over the course of a season.
Yeah.
This all happened in one episode.
Hour and 15 minutes probably. Fucking sick. I'm really excited. Like I was saying, I think we're going to get a lot of arguments online. Is Abby a villain or an anti-hero? And watching the discourse like start now, I'm like, I know. I said this, I felt this, I done all this. Like, just wait. It's a tall task on television though. Because in the game you play as both people, and I think when you become someone in a video game, you just naturally, no matter what the storyline is, you're like, don't kill me.
Yeah, I'm the good guy.
I'm the guy. Yeah. So it's a little different when you're just watching. But I think
in the game you play as Ellie and Abby.
Yes.
Okay.
You almost play like 2 games. Joel? The first one. The first one you're Joel, and Ellie is like just behind you. You play as Ellie like a couple scenes here and there, but it's mostly Joel. And then this one, Joel pretty much dies like right away. And you start as Ellie, and you play like a whole game, and then you jump to like Abby. And I remember being like, oh, they're going to give you like a couple chapters at the end as Abby. And it just kept going and going and going. I was like, I'm playing a whole second game here. This is fucking nuts. But what happens in that second game is, you know, very
I don't know how. I guess shout out to the Last of Us community. I didn't know any of that shit. That to me, I knew Abby was an important character, but I didn't know like she was like someone on the level of it. Like you play. Yeah. I thought she was like Kathleen. I thought she was like kind of that type.
Yeah, no,
I didn't
she's
realize
like
she was like a cover.
Totally. It's very. I guess I'll say. It's like Breaking Bad with Heisenberg and the Nazis. I'll say that. Like I don't know if you'll ever forgive Abby for what she did to Joel, but there's other shit that makes you just think differently about Abby.
And maybe I just didn't like. Again, I don't hate Abby.
No, I think
that's fucked up and that sucks.
You're right,
all that stuff, but
I don't
like,
think. I think most people are just like I like Joel. You know,
I do like Joel.
Yeah,
Joel kind of had it coming.
Right. I think most people won't admit that. You know, he's a great like dad and a great like he's the man, and then like you're not thinking about like. Well, but it is also it's a commentary on like when the world goes to shit like that, like these things start to happen, and like what's good, what's bad, what's it's also
Joel himself thought Joel kind of had it coming.
Right?
Like, shut the fuck up and do it.
I love that because that was the one thing, and they had it at a perfect time. I was like. Enough with the storytelling because she was about to start another one. She's like, it's funny. Like, shut the fuck up. Just fucking do it. She did it though.
Yeah.
She done did it, man. So put that on your calendar. Put that like must see TV Sunday nights always now. I would tell people to go play the game. It's not something that you just do. Like if you're not a gamer, you're not gonna go play 100 hours of fucking Last of Us. But it is in the game. It is just as it's crazy to be playing a video game and like almost be crying. You know what I mean? Like that's where the show's at. So I'm happy. We're all on the same page these days with White Lotus and Last of Us.
Big time.
And
big time.
Good shit.
What do you think about your Friends and Neighbors?
Oh, was gonna get on.
You watch that? Okay. Friends and Neighbors. While we're on the TV, let's keep it moving. Friends and Neighbors is great, but I was saying I can suspend disbelief for just about anything. Fucking aliens, zombies, whatever you want. Fights, guns, killing, whatever. This portrayal of John Hamm as some like hapless divorced dad is crazy.
Oh,
I disagree.
Completely
I saw your
disagree.
tweet before I watched it, and I was like, that might fuck me up. He's crushing it.
I think
yes, he's doing a great job, but I'm saying the like rest of the world treating him like this is fucking insane.
I don't know what you mean. I haven't got that at all.
Like if John Hamm found some chick fucking another guy and like divorced, he would be. I mean, of course, you're upset. You have your family, you have your kids, all that shit. But like everyone else being like, oh, what's his name in the show? I don't even know. It's like, oh, is John Coop? Yeah, like, oh, poor Coop. Coop's the most fucking handsome guy in the world.
Cool, yeah, but like, I mean, you walk in on your wife fucking an NBA player, you're like,
him, yes, but everyone else kind of looking at him like, oh, more Coop. He's at the party drinking too much. Like Coop would be smashing bitches left and right. He'd be like the CEO of a new company already. He's John Hamm. He's got a fucking hammer dick and he's the most handsome guy in the world.
But I completely disagree. See, we actually before you guys came in, we just said it's awesome being on the same page on everything.
He is not like some sorry sack. Like,
but I don't think he's treated like that.
I do. I think everyone's like.
First of all, he's fucking Olivia Munn.
Yeah.
He's all right.
Yeah.
But
even her, that bothered me too. Where she was like, oh, here comes like Steve, her husband with like her new boy, Phil, their new girlfriend. It's like. You're so much hotter than both of them. Like,
but it still just sucks. Like, see, right?
I understand from like their point of view, yes. But everyone else kind of being like, they're like, oh, Olivia, like, don't worry, like, it'd be like, Olivia, are you fucking insane? You're so fucking hot, and you're fucking John Hamm. You guys are good.
I don't know. I think everyone's kind of acting like yeah, that's a fucking bummer, but you got to get over it, kind of deal. Like, dude, like his manager?
Yeah,
not Lou. Lou is the pawn shop woman. But when he's like that speech he gives in the driveway on episode 3, where he's like, "Look, man, you just got like it sucks, but
it is what it is.
This is the world we live in,
bro." The way he handles the like the new guy who's fucking his wife is just so funny. Like, yeah, I'll call you for help if anyone needs to fuck my wife. Or all those scenes, and the guy's just like. You're right, dude. I'm trying to make it work here, but you're right.
You know what? I thought episode 3 was fucking tremendous.
Oh wait, I actually don't know if I'm totally caught up. I think I'm listening to.
Okay, so I'm not going to explain, but I'm just saying, like, I thought 3 was like really, really, really good. I thought first 1 and 2 were really good. I thought 3 was really, really good. But do you know how big John Hamm is? Because I googled it. Because he looks like a monster.
Tell me he's one of these guys who's like 5'7".
6'1".
Oh, okay.
He's 6'1", 200 pounds. He looks like he is.
Well, but for Hollywood, that is a monster.
I know, but like I'm watching the show because I watched it this weekend with my parents, and when it ended, both of them were like, "Damn, Ham's a big guy," and I went, "Yeah, no shit, huh?" I was like, I'd guess he's like 6'4", 250. 6'1", 200.
200.
He looked like a professional athlete. Like particularly when he gets fired and he's in the hot tub. And
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a beef boy.
It's a big
right there.
boy. I mean, at 6'1", 200, he's technically like 6'1", 180, and he has a 20-pound dick. Yeah. that when he finds out that there was no actual complaint levied.
Yeah.
I mean, I would actually shoot that office. I would go in there with a gun and kill everybody.
I feel like shows like that, like when they're kind of focused on the financial world and stuff like that, it's always like, this guy's an asshole. But like, he's a lovable asshole or whatever.
Yeah.
John Hamm's not even an asshole.
He didn't do anything wrong.
He did
has done nothing wrong
to get fired. He didn't do anything wrong when he fucked someone at work. He didn't do anything wrong when his wife cheated. Like,
Right.
He's you can root for him every step of the way.
You
which
know what
I like that.
loved is the scene when in the very beginning when the girl hits on him and he like lays out why
Yeah,
they're not going
yeah.
to work. Very that awkward moment-esque.
I knew
you would respect that.
Come on!
It was. I mean,
That's exactly what we're back on the same page. That's exactly what I was
There is
thinking.
part of me. This sounds silly to be thinking about in a like HBO show or whatever channel it's on with John Hamm. But there's part of me that thinks that like that writer and producer has watched that awkward moment and was like, let's have a scene like that.
I mean, that was...
It's identical.
Look, I'm sure someone can go, you fucking idiots think that's from that awkward
Yeah.
moment? That's from blank
this
movie.
thing.
Yeah.
But
for
where
our
I saw it,
generation,
yeah, from that awkward moment.
Yeah, that show is great. I guess the I forgot too, like it's so good at doing like the divorced, cheated on, lost my job, like whirlwind of middle-aged life that I forgot it opens up with him in a pool of blood.
Yeah,
And
right,
a dead
right.
body. And then when he starts to like rob shit, I was like, oh, that's right. We're technically watching like a crime caper show,
Yeah.
you know? When he wakes up in the blood and starts to like clean it with paper towels, like, dude, you need to burn that house down. That is a body's worth of blood on like a marble floor. I think that's gonna be a good one though.
That one's really,
an
really
entertaining
good.
one.
And then last thing I saw this weekend, I haven't stopped thinking about Warfare.
That is. Wait, what is that one again? Netflix?
No. It's
Movie?
in theaters. It's an A24.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Alex Garland, who
right.
did Civil War, which I hated.
That's
Well,
right.
actually,
That's what I was gonna say. The guy who made Civil War.
I hated Civil War when I first saw it. I've since enjoyed it more upon rewatches. This movie is a horror movie.
This is just war in Iraq.
Yeah. Is
it just like this is just life in war?
it's one battle and it's like in real time. It's like an hour and a half. It is like legitimately like I know people like say like war movies can be propaganda and stuff like that. This is a horror movie.
Meaning like almost the opposite of it, being like
at no point is it like this is cool or are they like let's go boys like there's no like like in war movies when it's like I just want to get home to my kids, have a barbecue on the 4th of July, like there's none of that
like your
shit.
life is fucking over. Like even if you survive this, you're ruined.
It was like it's a legitimate, it's a horror movie.
Wait, in terms of like gruesome?
It's very gruesome, but it's also just like the stress you feel. Just like these guys are just fucking pinned down, and it's not only what crazy is like. There's so much crazy about it, but the destruction and the movie does a good job of showing this of like. I don't know. I guess I'm very dumb, but like when I used to think of
that's
war,
established.
I always thought like when I first learned about World War II, right? I thought like America and Germany were like, yo, you're not going to work today. We're going to war. Like I thought like things shut down.
Yeah.
And then this is just like a functioning town in Iraq. Like
in the middle of it all.
They just like take someone's like the kids are there. They're in someone's house and the kids are there. And it's just like a family and like the destruction that happens to this town over an hour and a half because they keep like the enemies get too close. And then when the enemies are too close, you don't have any more air support because they can't start shooting.
You blow yourself
like,
up.
Will hit you too.
Yeah.
So what they start doing, I guess, is they do shows of force where just like the fucking jet will just come to like as high as a ceiling and just fucking buzz by.
Just to maybe scare you away.
To hopefully scare the guy. But like that only works once because then they start realizing they're not going to shoot.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But like when at supersonic speeds that low, like
that's
buildings are just falling.
Yeah.
And I was like, but they did a great job of being like, when they all, well, not all of them, but when people get out at the end, it's like, here's what's left. And it's just a fucking pile of rubble. And it's like, oh God, that was like a neighborhood. Holy shit. And then obviously like what these kids are going through. Dude, the first minute of this movie is legitimately the best vibes you'll ever have in a movie. Like
it was up with just them all like in front of a TV screen.
And particularly because it was 2005. It's when I was in high school at like a boarding school. So like we would do that. Like it's just 20 dudes around a laptop watching the Eric Prydz Call on Me video. Right? And they're like, call on me, and they're going nuts. And then it just hard cuts to like, now we're going to war. And it was like, oh, it's hard to watch, but it's really good.
Did you see Sinners yet?
Tonight. I missed the hype on Sinners.
Me too. I feel like that came out of nowhere.
I'd heard about it. I knew it was going to be good, but like I didn't know it was like movie of the year good.
I've been hearing a lot about it. Probably 2 weeks right before it came out. I was hearing that it wasn't going to be good, and then 2 weeks before it came out, it was like, this is probably the most hyped up movie of
I'm going to go in a little skeptical on this one. I feel like Ryan Coogler's the man, but he's also in the territory where people are going to be afraid to say if he didn't do a good job.
Wait, what do you mean?
I just think he's like kind of in that Jordan Peele territory where like people want to like his movies and say that they're genius and shit. So I think no matter what happens, they're going to like him.
See, I didn't think Coogler was there yet.
Well, I think he's there like now.
But that's what I mean. I thought like
this
Creed was really good. Black Panther was good. But like
Fruitvale Station's fucking incredible.
Fruitvale I haven't seen, so that's one. But the Creed and Black Panther are both good, but they're like
action movies.
They're action movies with
but
like
even
humongous
this one, that's
IPs.
why I was surprised. Like a vampire movie is kind of like.
I hear Haley Steinfeld is like that's her coming out party. She's already had one, but like
I guess she's like a quarter or an eighth black or something like that.
Oh, really?
And so she like talks and acts like that, and I think a lot of people don't realize that. So they were like, "Where the fuck did Haley Steinfeld like learn how to talk like this and act like this?"
It's like when Halsey put out like that Instagram post. Instagram picture with like, you don't have any shampoo for black people. And everyone's like, wait, the fuck do you mean, Halsey?
I think it's very similar to that. I'm also always very skeptical of movies that do like a double actor thing, but I guess the technology is kind of like there now and it looks fine. But people are loving this one.
Yeah, I'm jacked.
Ryan Coogler's like gangster, dude. Have you seen him?
Guy.
You see him on The Breakfast Club. He is like, I think he's from the Bay or like Oakland, and he's like Cali.
Yeah.
Like he talks it, dresses it, like, which I'm sure is an awesome switch up in Hollywood from like the regular cookie cutter shit. And he rolls in there like a fucking G.
Dude, you ever seen the video of him getting arrested?
No.
It's him getting arrested, trying to take $12,000 out of Bank of America. His own money. He's just a black guy trying to get $12,000 out.
Yeah, I can't do that. What are you crazy? Cannot do that.
It's fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah.
Imagine like you just went to ask for money from your account, you showed your ID, and they were like,
arrested?
"No, we gotta call the cops on this."
Yeah, that is some fucking serious racism, bro. That is some cuffed and everything.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my! I thought it was like a misunderstanding. Like,
he goes, "If you find my
that's such a gangster line." Put it in Google. Just put it in Google. That's fucked up.
$12,000, like
that's not even that much.
it's a lot of money, but it's like
you
Ryan Coogler was probably like, dude, I don't even know where this came from. like, do you understand? I have $12,000 everywhere.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I've taken out money before, like big money, and like if you write down, like, give me the money, it seems like a fucking like a put the money in the bag now. But if you say like out loud, like, hey, I need $20,000, and you put it in the machine, and people are either looking at you or following you or whatever, there is some validity to that. I can understand like if someone puts a mask on and is like, put the money in, but I mean, there's a big leap between that and like call the police, and then there's a big leap from the police. I thought the police would come and be like, this is a misunderstanding,
right?
Not cuff you and put you in the car.
That was like literally, if that was me, we would figure that out in 5 seconds. I would not be in handcuffs.
Yeah, right. We'd never even have to deal with that. That's crazy.
Okay, it's about to be summer. It's spring. Weather's warming up. city's going to start stinking like body odor. And do not be part of the problem. Be part of the solution with Cremo shaving cream. You deserve freedom from sweat and stink. And Cremo's deodorant is designed to provide men with 48-hour odor protection once every other day. Come on. Cremo. Those products are all barber grade and made with pride, professionalism, and passion to guarantee you quality without compromise. Elevate your deodorant experience with Cremo's 2 latest signature scents. Italian Bergamot is bright, fresh, and robust, showcasing notes of bergamot, neroli blossom, and fresh vetiver. Palo Santo is a deep, smoky, and refined, featuring notes of Palo Santo, bright cardamom, and dry papyrus, which is paper. Again, I mean, it's deodorant. You got to have it on. It is delicious scents, long-lasting, everything you need in a deodorant. Head to Target or Target.com to find Cremo's new line of antiperspirants, Jackie, and deodorants in the Italian Bergamot and Palo Santo scents. Once again, that's Target or Target.com.
What else we got? I got my new car. I got a Bronco.
New car?
Yeah.
Bronco?
First time I've ever liked a car of mine, my own.
Wait,
Like,
what
I
kind
have-
of Bronco? Like a,
The new one.
Yeah, new Bronco. Yeah, it's actually the Outer Banks Bronco.
Whoa.
Has like the interior is a little bit. It's
Is it Outer Banks like the TV show or Outer Banks like the Outer Banks?
I think it's like the Outer Banks, like the place. I think actually what I read, and this is actually perfect for me because there were some people chirping me that they were like, "You didn't even get the Sasquatch package or something like that." There's like all these different ones, and there's ones that are like, this is for off-roading. This is for like if you're gonna go drive like in the mountains.
Yeah.
And shit. The Outer Banks is for luxury. And I was like, yup.
Yeah.
It's got like a nicer interior and all that kind of shit. So, and I got it in the azure gray. It's like a gray blue, steel blue type color. Fucking sick.
Where'd you get that?
oh shit.
I got it on Saturday. No, it's the AZURE. It's that one. It's the like kind of like bluish one right there. Yeah. No, one above it. I've always been a cheapest car, point A to point B kind of guy, and not that this is like a fucking Lamborghini or anything, but I think it's a cool car. And is
it roofless?
Yeah, it's a hard top, so
Hard
I
top.
can take it off.
That's sick.
It does take like tools, and you have to like fold it up and put it away.
Yeah,
you
you
can't
ain't
just
never
push a
taking
button.
that off.
I know. So that's the thing. My kids were like, "What?" And I was like, "When we reach like the summer, and I know there's like 10 straight days of no rain, I will take it off.
Yeah.
But I ain't doing this back and forth shit, you know."
My brother had a Wrangler.
Yeah.
And it was just a similar situation, and it was like, I think he took it off like twice. And then he
Yeah, I'll do it for
I get it.
occasion.
Yeah.
Yeah. For myself, I'll probably never do it.
Yeah.
For the kids, I'm at the beach, whatever, I'll do
Right.
it. But man, I got it from the there's this Ford dealership, All American Ford in Old Bridge, New Jersey, and they drove it to me for a test drive and then delivered it to the house.
Really?
So I didn't have to go to Jersey. I didn't have to go to the dealership. They brought all the paperwork, signed it. I was like, I don't know if I can ever go back to regular life now.
Is that typical for them, or is that just because you're
I think
somebody?
I think they were hooking it up because of Barstool. I don't think they'll do that for everybody. But my man Jason Savino is the sales guy there, and this guy Mark was the one who delivered everything. So right now they're doing a employee pricing through June 3rd. So they told everybody, all the stoolies, to come through if you're in the area. And I think they're like the best. I think Broncos are still pretty hard to come by, and I think they get like the most Broncos in the tri-state area. It's fucking cool though.
Yeah.
And it was cool to like the guy told me he was pulling up, and I told the kids like, let's go outside, and like they were like, what? Oh no way, is it ours? Can I get in? And I was like, it was a cool moment.
And it's a new car, right? Like you
Yeah.
got rid of the old one. It's not
Yes,
like a
and they
summer
they drove the new one, took the old one away. It's like, this is fucking sweet. But like the Ford Explorer is like not a lame car, but it's just a car. And before that, I had like Hyundais and fucking Toyotas,
Yeah.
just like regular ass cars. What's the cheapest monthly payment you could possibly have? And so it's cool to like even this one. I was like, it's a little smaller than my other car, and I was like, it's not the most practical for what I need right now. But I was like, fuck it, let's go. So it's we're gonna have the top down for the summer and cruising around in a little blue Bronco.
Top
We're gonna
down,
name it. I gotta
cruising.
name it. So what do you if you have any ideas for the name? Let me know what you think.
Dude, what our ideas don't matter. Keegan's name in this fucking car.
Yeah. I want to see what the people come up with. But we've already kicked around a couple names, and I think we already know what it is. They also hooked me up with the like black on black rims, which is cool. I never thought I would never be a rims guy either, but they were like, we'll give you the black rims like free of charge, and I was like, okay. All right. And then it pulled up, and I was like, that does look pretty cool.
Rims are like the little silver things.
Yeah, like the hubcaps, if you will.
It's funny, that's like a generational thing. Like rims were a big deal.
Like if I say like 20-inch rims to you, does that not mean anything? Like every rapper, like you get, whatever you buy your car, you just get whatever like rim or hubcap comes on it, and then rappers would get 20-inch rims that like there was like this much tire left. It almost like takes up like the whole tire, and it was 20 and then 22s and then like 24s. 22s. Yeah, like there was like if you hit like a pothole, your shit's fucked. Yeah, you don't know about spinning rims. The spree
when the
wells?
car stops, the wheel keeps going.
Yeah.
Oh man, fucking dope.
When I was in high school,
those
rims were like not even like when I like high school in my public school. Like when I was a freshman, kids were going nuts about rims, and like people would be saving up like tons of money to put rims on like their fucking Nissan Altima and stuff like that.
Yes,
it was rims
time.
were a fucking cultural moment.
I don't know if that's just like gone by the wayside with like the entire genre of rap. I don't know. Like, all of this shit's just gone now. But man, big rims.
You had rims and a fucking speaker system in your car.
You getting fucked.
You getting laid, dude. I did not have rims.
I did do that. I don't have like some crazy system in the car or anything, but I went in there and I just turned the bass all the way up, and Shay was playing music and it was like thumping in her back, and she was like, "What's this?" And I was like, "That's bass.
It's all about that bass. No treble."
That's probably like what we were playing too. Talking about my black rims and my new car system while I play Meghan Trainor. But yeah, that's it's feels a little different when you get into a car that you're like, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Got a people looking at it a little bit.
A necessary purchase or a treat yourself purchase?
I mean, my lease was up, so like it's time for a new car.
Yeah.
Is this leased or you bought it?
Yeah, I leased it. I'm a lease guy.
I don't know what the difference is. I mean, I know what the difference is.
Well, you don't own it. You give it back.
Yeah, but what's the difference between owning something and not owning it?
Well, it's kind of like renting versus buying. It's like you're paying money for something you don't own at the end.
Yeah. People always get mad at me. Like my friends are like, why don't you buy a place? I'm like, I don't know. I rent the place. Who gives a fuck?
Bro, I think the world has actually flipped on that, especially now that it's impossible to buy.
Right.
And it's like you have a super who takes care of everything. You're not paying interest. You're not, like sometimes it is sickening, especially in New York. If you like rent for like a decade and you look at like how much money you've put down paying for something, and it's like you just have nothing to show for it.
Yeah, but if I fucking look how much money I spent on food, and I got nothing to show for that either.
You're alive. Yeah, you got a roof. Yeah, I mean, I trust me. I think there was a time where it was like, this is stupid, because if you just save a little bit of money, you have a down payment, and there's good rates, and you can get a house. Now it's like, it's impossible.
Yeah, I can buy a house in a place I don't want to live.
Right.
Why the fuck would I do that?
And more importantly, it's like, I think you got to put way more money down, and the rates are bad, and you're going to pay tons a month anyway, and it's like, for living in like a shitty starter home, so just rent and
in a neighborhood that I have no interest in. Like, I don't know, I like living in New York, so I'll pay to rent the place here.
Yeah, people who like buy a house when they don't have like a family and kids and shit. What are you fucking doing? It's insane. But I some people like to buy their car. Like I'm the total opposite. I'm like, I'm probably gonna run this into the ground. I want my style. Like I'm gonna need something new. Something bigger, something smaller, something different. Like whatever. I'd rather switch it up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that.
But so I'm in the Bronco family. They were asking me what color, and I was like, "Do you have any white ones?" I was like, "I wonder if they make any white Broncos anymore." I know that they discontinued it for like 20 years, and now they're back. But I don't think there's any white ones.
That white Bronco is like kind of the hottest car.
I mean, it's pretty dope.
Yeah.
It's
like
pretty cool.
So cool.
Yeah.
Maybe you should name it after OJ.
I was thinking if I just call it my car OJ.
Yeah.
Or just like the juice.
Yeah. The juice. That's not bad. Not bad. We're gonna have a contest. Best name that my kids are gonna name this, but everyone else give me the best name. What else we got?
I was home this weekend, and I had a moment where you just realize what you are to people. And my mom, it was like midnight on Saturday night, and my mom calls me into the kitchen, and she just goes, fridge is really full. I got to get stuff in there for Easter. Can you just eat some stuff?
Do your thing. And do what you do, boy.
I was like, just take out what you want me to eat. I'll eat it. And so at it was like 1 a.m. I had a chicken pot pie, baked beans, and half a sweet potato. And I was just like,
there's a shelf.
I was like, I am literally just a garbage disposal.
I was going to say, you're a human garbage disposal. Just mix it up in there.
Because everyone was like, just take out what you want. I'll eat it.
I don't even like it, but I'll just fucking eat it.
I'm sitting there with like half a chicken pot pie mixing beans. I'm like, what am I eating? Like people on the fucking Oregon Trail ate better than this.
That's been a similar business idea of mine. Is just like, instead of like just eating people's leftovers but you pay them. So I would you call up it's like Uber, and you call up a guy and you say, hey, I have extra chicken left if you want it. They pay you a little bit of money, but that's you paying for food. So you're getting money for.
So you're like a professional chef. No, it would not be like
no.
It's not
you're
food
paying
you
the people
cook.
that eat it, or they pay you for the food?
people that eat it do pay you. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit of an opposite Uber, but they're paying for food at a fraction of the cost.
Yeah.
And you're getting rid of leftovers. It's like you get good money back for goodwill.
But what are we talking about? Are we talking about I couldn't finish my Big Mac, or are we talking about you cooked food for the family?
It's whatever you want. Maybe probably you have leftovers. You cooked food for the family.
It would be severely rock bottom if you pay strangers for their scraps. And I'm not saying there are people at that level. But that's I think it's sometimes
Jackie's like, you don't want to ever communicate. Hey, you want a quarter of a chicken nugget?
I don't even take home leftovers from restaurants when it's my food and quality food. I don't want to carry this out. I'm good. To just be like, hey, do you want to come over? I have there's a quarter of a chicken parm left that my family didn't eat. And you're like, yeah, sure, I'll be there with $20.
Yeah.
That's fucking.
You bring it to me? No, I'm not gonna bring it to you. You gotta come get it.
That feels more like when you say I've got this old desk and you can have it if you want it, no cost, but you got to come pick it up.
Yeah.
That's almost like I gotta get rid of this food. You can eat it. You charge people for your scraps.
Yeah.
That's what we call a girl's idea. Where
it's bad.
Dumb.
No. What I meant is where people aren't disgusted by me. No one's eating half my sandwich.
Yeah.
You gotta have a picture of me next to it. It's just you want half of this guy's sandwich? No, I don't want that
guy's mouth, his mustache been all over that? No, I'm good.
Oh, Jackie? Yeah, I'll have Jackie's chicken nuggets.
I think you should.
You want John's baked beans?
Call the app Scraps.
Yeah.
And scrap, APP, scrap, an app.
Oh,
and
my
there
God.
you go, scrap. And
Scrap
then
app.
Scrap app. And then people just come to you, and you can do it for anything. You can do it for you can leftover food. You can take my old clothes, hand me downs. Just take my shit.
You can bang me. You can do whatever. You can come on over, do whatever you want. I don't care.
You get my food in my holes. Oh man. Do you guys do Easter? Yeah, you do it still?
Yeah.
I was wondering if that holiday sucks so much dick. Easter sucks. But for the kids, I do the bunny and the baskets.
Yeah.
But I was like, if you don't have any kids, this shit is stupid. I wouldn't even celebrate it.
Dude, I was driving home Friday, rushing to get to the engagement party, and had insane traffic.
Yeah, what is this?
I was calling my mom. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I've been in traffic for 4 hours. Literally, it took me 6 hours to drive home. And I was like, I've been just sitting in traffic. My mom's like, yeah, well, it's Easter. I was like, who the fuck gives a shit about that?
Crazy.
She's like,
the Catholics,
most of the world,
a billion
John.
people. Which
Not
also
most of
brings
the
me
world.
to Conclave.
Oh.
R.I.P. Pope Francis really got on his Catholic shit, dying on Easter Monday. Went home from the hospital on a Friday, died on Easter. On Easter Monday is some pretty, godly shit right there.
Damn, I missed
You missed the Pope dying?
Yeah,
you're going to hell.
Yeah.
No,
it was this morning. It was 5 a.m.
Okay.
So now it's on. So now we have 9 days of mourning, and so between 15 and 20 days we'll have conclave. You get about 2 weeks for people to travel and get their affairs in order, but it can't be any later than 20.
Dude, Rome must get so jacked up when a priest dies because tourism.
You know, even more than that is the cities of the popes, of the cardinals. If your guy becomes pope, your city like flourishes
Oh,
because everyone travels there to see where Pope Francis is from. So like, there's a lot riding on this for beyond just the church. There are cities across the
economically
world
speaking,
that are like,
particularly for
please,
like,
our guy.
I imagine a lot of countries like popes come from.
Totally,
like,
South American countries, some of these like European spots, smaller spots where it's like the church will be big, the tourism, like their house, their neighborhood, all that shit really matters. So
apparently Spain and Japan are like seriously stopping like nighttime drinking, or maybe just Spain, but Japan also is trying to have less tourism, but nighttime drinking in Spain because it's too many tourists. So they're like, what's some way to get rid of them? And it's by like,
you can't drink.
you can't like between the hours of like 12 a.m. and
You got like a ticket?
I don't know. I think it's like fined. I haven't read. I read like 2 sentences. But that's just crazy. And it's a good way to stop tourism.
Totally.
Like,
I'm
I have no
not
interest.
going again. Right?
Yeah.
So we'll see
Who are the favorites, Paz?
I saw a couple of other names when I had made my video. Those guys are still on the list. It's really Pietro Parolin is like the main guy. He's Italian. He's the Secretary of State at the Vatican, so he's second in command. He's being Italian is a big leg up. There's a guy. That guy, the Filipino guy, is Luis Tangle.
I want an Asian or a black guy.
The Black Pope would be so sick.
Yeah.
There's 2 guys. One is Mbongo from the Congo. I think he's the odds-on favorite from Africa. There's that, and Peter Turkson, who was like the last guy. He had good odds last time too. Those are 2 African popes who would be fucking sick. Black Pope, White Smoke.
Yeah. Black Pope, Idris Elba Bond. Let's fucking switch it up.
Yeah,
guys.
let's go. It's time. But yeah, this guy Luis Antonio Tagle is the odds-on favorite right now. He's from South America. He is pretty. He's pretty like liberal. A lot of people, the big debate is whether, if you have a liberal pope, you want to go with a conservative one afterwards, or vice versa. So some people are thinking that it's going to swing back and get, pretty tight. But I don't know. It's going to be this guy Parolin. Pietro Parolin is like.
Oh, dude.
I know. I don't want some fucking.
I wanted a fucking black quarterback last year. I didn't get that.
Dude, Black Pope would be
I'm
so
stuck
fire.
with Drake May's white ass.
Black Pope would be so cool.
Have we had a Black Pope?
No Black Popes, no American Popes. We have a outside chance. There's a guy from St. Louis. I can't remember his name. He is a conservative pope from St. Louis, a conservative cardinal from St. Louis. He's our only shot at an American. And that guy Mark Ouellette is from Canada. But those are the only 2 guys from North America that even have a shot. The rest is there's a Hungarian guy, Peter Erdo. He is Hungary is considered the gap between the connection between Europe and Africa. I think it's like right there, like physically. And if all the cardinals in Europe and Africa vote your way, you win basically. So they're thinking like Hungary is a good spot to get the European and African vote, because then it doesn't matter what happens in North, South America, everywhere else. But Europe is going to go, I think, to Pietro. Like I think anybody from Italy is going to go with their man. But there was some quote from a cardinal last time that said like, we were convinced we knew. Oh, he was saying everybody said there will never be a Jesuit pope. There's no way that happens, and Pope Francis was Jesuit. So this guy's point was like, we don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah.
There's some new rule. Oh, also Pope Francis has over his tenure appointed 2/3 of like the cardinals now have been appointed by him, which I guess is a pretty high number. So like all of these people, a lot of these guys are like indebted to Francis and probably like him because like they got their position through him.
Yeah.
So they're thinking a lot of people will like vote in the same vein as him, So that's an interesting wrinkle that it's like a lot of these people feel like, they are pro Francis because he got him the gig.
Right.
And I think he was installing a lot of liberal and progressive guys like along the way. So he kind of stacked the deck for liberal popes to come.
I read a nice quote from him today that he likes to think of hell as empty, which is very non-pope, like most of the non-pope things he does.
Yeah.
But he's like, I think it's empty.
Nobody's there. It's all just.
I mean, he's like, again, he said, I like to think of it. I don't think he's like, I believe.
I'll tell you who's there. It's most of your peers, bud.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
a lot of frocked gentlemen down there.
Yeah. It's not empty, but I saw some quote that was like, a lot of the cardinals like one of their main concerns is how the new pope will handle sexual abuse in the church, and like there's a lot of guys who are still like, we don't want a pope who's going to make a big deal out of that. Jesus fucking Christ. They view it as like letting like secular people into the church. They want it to be like the church is the church. Yeah. It's like, well, this is one time where I think we should maybe let the regular world in on this to stop the kid raping.
Banging kids is church business.
Yeah, right. I do get the idea of like family. What happens here stays here. Not the kid banging.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Can you actually place bets?
On like offshore, like none of the legit spots, but yeah, the offshore ones will do it. And there was something else about they said that the way the Cardinals are run now is very like secluded. Like I can't remember why they said this, but what the result was, you're not like around each other as much, so there's not as much like relationships between Cardinals anymore. Where it would be like, oh, I'm a Feitelberg guy. Oh, I'm a Jack guy.
Everyone's
it's kind of like
home.
Everyone's, yeah. Basically, maybe COVID fucked it up. Whatever it was, it became very like, I'll vote for whoever I want. But so yeah, within the next couple weeks, we'll get conclave. I'm gonna have to get like some sort of. I need to get like some smoke bombs or something. Making videos lighting off black smoke and white smoke, and I cover the shit out of this conclave. So. Stick around for all your conclave needs and all your Pope voting news. I got you covered on this. I think I might be the foremost authority on this.
You're up there.
I mean, I don't know anybody else who covers it for quite some time. Yeah, I mean, there were some there was like some legit like religious like accounts tweeting me and posting me like, thanks for this, I needed this. Like, you're a fucking like church account. What's going on here?
I stand by like I feel like the way that they do the smoke is kind of fun and like, it makes it so much.
Listen,
more.
The one thing you can knock the Catholics for a lot of stuff, and the bads certainly outweigh the goods.
Yeah.
But the pageantry is second to none.
Yeah.
The music, the architecture, the dress, the presentation, they smoke it. Yeah. No pun intended.
The history of it, right? Like, even America, we got 200 years. They got thousands of years of history.
Totally. And some of the proverbs and the quotes and the songs are just like, yeah, man, fuck yeah.
But if they had that, I still think that tax day, if they had some more pageantry to that, people would be like so much more excited about tax day.
Taxes?
Yeah. Like it's kind of like, let's all do it, like and people were kind of like, let's do taxes, like, let's get out the tax food and like the cake.
Let's get out the tax.
So there should be like they should give you a day off of work. So at the very least, you think, all right, tax day is a day off of work.
Yeah.
So that all of a sudden you start to associate it with positives,
Yo, you know what's crazy? I was thinking about the episode the other day when you were like, John's the most pro-tax person alive. I think at least some of that is from the fact that I was, what do you call it, like indoctrinated as a kid.
Your dad?
My dad.
Yeah, pay your taxes.
And, like every fucking thing he gave me, he'd take some. And he'd go, tax man.
Like fry tax?
Doing karate. like he'd bring me a cupcake, he'd take a big bite. Like, tax man.
It's just the way it goes.
I'm like, someone bigger and stronger than me takes what they want, I get what's left. It's like,
that's life.
That's life, baby.
I think there could be though, like if there was a big meal that you always ate, like turkey Thanksgiving, you know what I mean? If it was like on tax day, we all eat filet mignon.
Yeah.
On tax day, you have this big, delicious Italian meal, and you get off of work, and like your wife fucks you. Everybody has sex on tax day, like all these things. Like, yeah, you're gonna get whacked by the government, but also not some bad shit. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's like
put that one in the communicate bucket and not the scrap app bucket. Those are definitely separate.
Yeah, I think like if Hallmark got on it a little bit, we're cooking with something.
Right, get some candy,
and
get
like,
some
oh my God,
gifts.
It's tax day. Let's pay our taxes. I have been paying California taxes this whole time.
That's good though, because if you get it cleared up, they'll pay you back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This time I owed like $8,000. I was like, if you could find $8,000 of my dollars, you could have it, but it's not going to be there. I don't know how you think that you're going to get that, but like, have at
it. Good luck, IRS.
Yeah.
That's. I feel a lot of people are in that boat probably.
But anyways, I would be a lot happier about them.
We gotta fix this mic, right? It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Kind of like, it's been.
The chairs and the mics are just broken here, and we just do the episode as is every time. All right, next episode. We'll do some voicemails with whoever sit on the couch with us from Barstool. We're going to get back to voicemails. We've been slacking on those. But right now, an interview with one of our all-time greats, one of our best interviews. We've had him on a couple times now. Dean Norris, you know him as Hank from Breaking Bad. He's now in Law & Order. And also, John runs through his resume. Just second to none.
I was looking
just
at
one of the greatest
I was
Hollywood resumes of all
floored.
time.
It's crazy.
And he's just the man.
It's
He
like
sat down.
every major show over the last 30 years. He's
been
at
in.
least done an episode in.
Dude sat right down. It was probably 11 something when we interviewed him. He had a midnight bean martini with me. We were talking shop, chatting TV, Breaking Bad. He is just one of the guys. He is awesome. So Dean Norris on KFC Radio. Let's talk to him.
Okay, quick little pop-in, I suppose this is, from our friends over at Jackpocket. It is the app that lets you play Powerball, Mega Millions, state lottery games, scratch tickets. It doesn't matter. They got all of it. It's the best thing in the world. It's Jackpocket. Everything is available through an app these days, even ordering lottery tickets. Thanks to Jackpocket, America's #1 lottery app. You can order official lottery tickets right from your phone. Enjoy games like Powerball, Mega Millions, even daily games like Cash for Life. You name it, they've got it. Look at this. I knew this whole ad read before I even did it. Millions of dollars in cash and lottery prizes have been won using Jackpocket. And you can be one too. Let's see where we're at right now. Opening the app, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Bang, it's open. Powerball's at $139 million. Mega Millions. Seems like someone just won because that's at 50, but let's grab a Powerball ticky. We'll do popular pick 2. Place order, confirm. Bang, I'm in. I am in for my share of $139 million. The drawing is tonight at 10:59 p.m. So the money will be either more or less tomorrow. Up to you. You can get started today with $5 off your first lottery ticket. First chance at $139 million for free with code KFC. That's code KFC for your first $5 off only on Jackpocket.
It's not too early for that.
If you'd like one, I'll shake you one up. It's actually this side there. I actually just it's my thing that I created. I just came out with it last week.
No shit, really?
Yeah. I was drinking these espresso martinis like 15 years ago before anybody, before it was like a craze, and now it's kind of the most popular cliche drink.
Midnight bean,
But
espresso martini.
but it's a pain in the ass when you order it. They got to make the espresso. They got all this. This is all. It's in there. You just shake it up. It foams up nicely. It's yeah.
Don't even need a cup.
Just one touch that right from the bottle, baby.
We got to have one of those, right? Can we do that on air, or is that? No,
If you want one, I will shake you one up.
fuck, if you're gonna
Yeah?
have one with me,
Absolutely.
it is. I didn't have my coffee yet.
Yeah. We'll get. I'll get a shaker, some ice, and some glasses. We'll
Yeah, I
do
love
it
it.
up.
We had the
I
Schrader
love it.
Brow last time you were on.
gonna
Now
say.
we got the Midnight Bean this
That's
time.
right. Little midnight bean.
Dude, I love a man who will drink. It's the PM, right? It's,
Fuck yeah.
It's past 12. We're good.
We're good, right?
We're late as far as I'm concerned, man.
Fuck
We're happy to have you back in, man.
Thanks, man.
We are TV junkies, and you're the man.
Thanks. Thank you, brother.
I'm glad you said that because I have a question for you, Dean Norris.
All
I'm
right.
sure it's a question you've been asked before, but I want to preface this for the listeners before
Yeah.
I ask you the question. Now, where are we? Right here. Okay. So
Okay.
I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
What's the best show you've ever been on? And now I'm going to. Well, first of all, if you're going to pick one of those two, you can't pick one of the two. You got to pick one.
There's obviously one.
Okay. It's Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
Okay.
yeah.
Now, the list. The list. And there's obviously your filmography is much bigger than this. This is what I was like, well, they belong in the conversation.
Yeah.
NYPD Blue, Married with Children, X-Files, Nash Bridges, ER, Walker, Texas Ranger, Boston Public, 6 Feet Under, JAG, 24, CSI, West Wing, Nip Tuck, Grey's Anatomy, Breaking Bad, Bones, Lost, True Blood, Criminal Minds, Key and Peele, American Dad, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Big Bang Theory, Claw, Scandal, Better Call Saul, Superstore, Curb Your Enthusiasm.
God damn.
That's fucking
Brother,
nuts.
it would be easier to make a list of shows you haven't
done
done. Holy shit. I mean, I knew you were prolific, but that's crazy.
I know, man. I did shit. I don't know, man. I like to work, bro.
Dude, and now getting to add Law and Order to the mix is like,
Yeah.
that's, you've checked a lot of things off your bucket list, but that feels like right up your alley.
Oh man, it's first of all, I have some history with Chris Maloney. We did an independent movie about 10 years ago.
Of course you did.
So he and I've been buddies, and we just had such a great chemistry on this show. We played used car salesman, and we just wanted to work together. And then all of a sudden, I get a call saying, "Hey, they want you for Maloney's brother." I'm like, yeah. So it's been great because he's just great to work with, and we just have a blast because we we have a kind of a shorthand because we like each other and have been
So it's almost
improv
like,
and all that kind of shit. So it's cool.
That chemistry is probably invaluable, right?
It's excellent.
It's got to be a lot easier to be on a set with someone you know and have
especially if you're playing a brother.
Because then it all feels natural. Yeah.
I actually go to the same gym as Christopher Maloney.
Oh, do you?
I've never talked to him, but I watch him work out. He's a beast.
He is a fucking beast.
He's a beast, dude.
Yeah, he is. He likes to stretch a lot.
Yes,
like
dude.
in public too.
He's always doing shit, and I'm like, what is he even doing in the corner over there?
He's doing shit like this. No, you've been at a bar with him. And he puts his thing on the fucking bar. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Put your fucking leg down.
That's funny.
We'll do that.
Leg down.
What do you want, Dean? Oh, look at that.
Let's go.
Are we on air?
Yes, sir.
Look at that.
You shall receive. Love it. I love it.
Coffee bean, midnight bean.
Midnight bean, that's my man.
Midnight bean.
Shake it up, make it nice and
Look at
cold,
that.
nice and frothy.
Oh, nice.
This is natural, by the way. These people,
It's organic.
we just
organic.
had Bert Kreischer, and he wanted one as well. It's like, I'm not forcing all these people to do this. They want them. They're delicious.
I asked.
How did Schrader Brow is still going, or
It's
is
still
that
going.
Yeah.
I have a restaurant bar in California, and right now that's the only place you can get it. We got it on draft and
What's the name of that?
the bottles. It's called the Swing In Cafe,
Hell yeah.
And that's in Temecula.
Temecula,
right?
California. Right.
Do you know, obviously I'm sure you know the history of Temecula?
Yeah.
Like the internet's lore of it?
I don't know if you would know that.
Oh,
There's a like an internet fight that happened.
What?
Yeah. It was on Christmas Day
No
or Christmas
shit.
Eve, like 10, 15 years ago. I forget exactly how long it was. But it was just like a Twitter dumb thing.
Yeah.
And it was two guys in California arguing about Kobe Bryant. And it was like, who's like, I forget, is Kobe the GOAT or something along those lines?
Yeah.
And they were arguing on the internet like a lot. Like it was everyone was following along. And then finally one guy was like, fuck it, meet me in Temecula. We're fighting.
what?
No shit.
And one of the guys drove to Temecula.
Wow.
And the other guy didn't show up.
Didn't
He's like, you said meet me in Temecula.
Yeah.
Let's fucking
Let's
do
go,
it.
baby.
When I hear Temecula, that is the first thing I think of.
You know what they have that SNL thing? Like some girl. She's like, I'm so and so from Temecula.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where that's kind of way random, but
I don't want to make you drink alone.
yeah, but no, I wouldn't do
You
that.
gotta share.
I wouldn't
Nice
do that
kicks,
to you.
man.
Huh?
Like
Thank
those.
you. Oh yeah. Look at that. Oh man. All right. Yeah, there we go.
Are you a coffee guy, a martini guy?
I'm both.
Both? All right.
That's why this works.
Guy. Cheers. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
To health, wealth, and happiness.
Hey, close your eyes.
Give me an honest review. What do you think?
That's fucking great,
You like
man.
it?
I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's
Awesome. So that's yours, huh?
yeah.
That's a
Yes,
great
sir.
idea,
It
man.
like just came out like a week ago. We're trying to, make sure we get it all. Actually, if you'd like to stock it at the Swing In Cafe, we'd love to have you.
we might do that. I have Brian's, Los Hombres there.
Yeah,
Dos
put me next to him.
Yeah.
Put me next to him and Aaron. That's a pretty good.
Yeah, that's and we serve we have a Heisenberg drink. It's a blue kind of a thing.
Very
You
cool.
make it with the
Very
little
cool.
little rock candy on top of it.
Yeah, that's great. That's
Yeah.
great.
When
Kids
did you
love
guys
it.
buy that? Was it
About 3 years ago.
3 years ago? I was going to say
Yeah, it's
20
been
years.
there 100 years. It's been 1927.
Shit.
Yeah, and it was a little diner. It still is a little diner. It's got like 50s. Like the booths are too fucking small, fat, And but then I introduced. It was only for breakfast and lunch, so I introduced barbecue as a dinner, and it's been just smoking. I mean, we have like 20-foot. Two 20-foot smokers and one like 15-foot smoker, and they're going nonstop, man.
Wow.
No.
We crank out the brisket and it's so good. My guy.
What made you decide, like, you and your wife, I wanna run an inn or a restaurant.
I feel like usually those are tough businesses. Like I feel like they either rock it or they're
right.
you know.
And this
money
one was
pit.
already an established business, which was nice. And then all I had to do was come up with some dinner, because it's like in this old town of Temecula where all the tourists go. It's right on the main drag of that kind of thing, you know. Just wanted to have an investment in my local community, of thing, you know, and I got 2 kids that are working there now, you know.
Put them to work. Make them earn their keep.
Yeah,
you retired as giving out cash. You're like, I'll give you a shift.
Right. Yeah, I started them all in the dishwashing pit, you know.
Teach them right.
Yeah.
How old are they?
One is
3 and 4.
Get to work. Fuck that. Anyway, 22 and 19.
I'm introducing the idea of like allowance and chores and whatnot to my son right now, and I don't think he's quite getting it.
No, you do the chores first, and then you get the allowance.
that's where I made the fatal mistake. He was he plays Roblox on PlayStation. That you can buy things within it, different outfits, all that shit, and I bought it for him first, and then said you have to do the chores. And would not recommend that. It's not going well. It's like, I'll get to it, but I gotta go play with my shit that I already bought. I was like, God damn it. Learning as we go here.
I started in like a dishwasher pit at my uncle's restaurant when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was younger than your children. I was probably like 16 or 15, and I watched a man cut his finger off one day.
Woo!
That was a problem.
Yeah, that'll do it.
It'll put you off that job for a bit. And that was my very first job at 14 was a dishwasher at a like a lake and resort kind of place.
Yeah.
Yeah, 14 years old.
I was working at my my family owned a coffee shop that was in a subway like vestibule on 53rd Street.
Oh, wow.
So there was like a cobbler, like a bodega, like a art framing. These things that all must have been drug fronts, because I was like, who the fuck is buying their frames in the subway? But we had a coffee shop that was like right there with all the foot traffic. So like from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. was just like go.
Nice.
I remember I sliced my finger cutting open a bagel. Bled everywhere.
Yeah.
Tried to still serve the bagel to the girl.
Yeah.
I said to her, I promise I didn't get any blood on it. And she said, I think I want a new one.
It's strawberry sauce.
It was a little jelly. It was just a little jelly. No, what was your big break? What would you call your big break?
Well, it's funny because there's different definitions. I was talking to somebody earlier. I said the Equalizer, which got me my SAG card.
Yeah. Okay.
So at the time, that was the best job I ever had.
Sure.
Right?
That's a big one.
Yeah. It was here in New York, and that gave me some money to head off to California so I could sleep on another couch for $200.
And how old were you for that?
I was back from Europe. I was about 24, 25. And then in LA, what I consider my first break, because it got me out of being a waiter, was Lethal Weapon 2.
Nice.
Yeah. So it was. I had a couple months. I'm waiting tables and the call come. This would be. I guess would it be before cell phones? I don't know. I got a call from the like, hey Dean, you got a call, right?
Yeah.
So my agent's like, yeah, you got it. I'm like, really? How much? I'm like, what the fuck? I'm making $500 a week as a waiter, And
is that like a lumps? Is that like upfront or
no? It's per week. It's like a weekly thing. And I was like, are you sure? That took my thing off. Like, here you go.
See you later. Yeah.
That burger's going over there, and that burger's going over there. I'll see you guys at the premiere.
That's the dream, man. Right?
Yeah,
I'm sure you're
there.
waiting and bartending and doing this shit with all people who are trying to have that call. I'm like, I got the call, guys.
I got the call.
See you later.
Yeah.
We're friends, but I'll never talk to you again. Fuck you people.
And that's back in the day when they would take like months to do a movie. Like now they do it in fucking a month. And that job lasted for it just kept going. And I was like, every week I was like getting the paycheck that I was like, never thought I could get.
Sure, that's amazing.
And
then was it steady from there on out?
Yeah.
Then
I got Hard to Kill, Total Recall. All just kept coming from there. And then obviously Breaking Bad was another level. Something. Yeah.
But what is that like? Like when? Because I imagine my introduction to you was Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's been many other things before. What is that like when you kind of break through and become so recognized when everyone's like, oh, he's a success, and you're like, I've been a success. I've been a success for 20 years, however long it was. Like, is it do you take that as an insult, or you just kind of know it's coming?
No, it was great, man. I always describe it. Some people go, "Hey, I went 0 to 60." I'm like, I went like 30 to 60. I was cruising in around 30. Maybe 35. Then that kind of kicked it to a different
30's
level.
gonna get you there.
30's gonna get you there.
30's gonna get you
And
there.
honestly, not that much faster. So, 10 minutes.
Very safe.
Yeah.
Dude, I drive 55 in the middle lane.
There you go. There you go.
We hear that a lot with comedians who are, comedians do tend to have that moment where they pop, but it could be 20 years after, doing open mics and all that bullshit. So they're like, I've been working at this. It's not like I just stumbled into it. Like,
right.
You get lucky, you get a break, but you earned your way there.
Yeah.
But Breaking Bad also didn't really go like until like almost the final season really go. Right?
Absolutely.
So the first, let's say 3 seasons of that, you're kind of doing it like, all right, it's good, it's a paycheck, it's A&E, whatever, or
AMC.
AMC, sorry.
Yeah.
Are you like? Did you guys have faith that it would pop, or you know what I mean? Like, how does that work?
We didn't really know. Luckily it was on AMC, and they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Because we would have been canceled. They had Mad Men as the only thing they had. So people were like,
but that's 2 big ones, man.
Yeah, I know. But back in the day, it was like channel 355.
Yes.
Or something like that.
As a kid, I remember being like, hey,
what?
see,
Hey,
this
what
is
the
the
fuck?
late
What
night
the hell is
dad
this?
watches
Yeah,
this shit.
right. American Movie Channel.
Yes, yeah.
So we knew that it was good. What helped us is that early on, like, people in the business really loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, before the general public was on it, like, directors and producers and writers were like, fuck, this is so good,
Yeah.
So that gave us encouragement. And then on the 3rd season is when Netflix picked it up. And that changed the whole trajectory of the thing.
I don't think I realized that. So that was what made it go like mainstream.
Yeah, and Netflix, at one point it was like 30% of their streaming.
I bet.
And that's when they realized they needed to produce their own shit. Right, so that's when they started doing House of Cards and Horror Thing and something else, and that just shot them. They used those guys like Reed Hastings and those guys used to come to our little parties, our little rap parties or something at the end of the season. See those guys and like should have fucking bought the stock, right?
Yeah, I didn't realize that you guys preceded House of Cards.
Yeah.
That's
because that's known as their first original thing,
right?
But that was all because of you guys.
And they coined the term binge watching when it got on Netflix, and people started, binge watching it. And watching
you
the
guys
whole thing.
invented binge watching.
We did.
Yeah, before that, we called it depression.
We called that nothing else to fucking do.
we call that unemployed. I unemploy watch Breaking Bad. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's why it got big during COVID. Is like the second
wave.
Breath of the show. It got huge during COVID because everybody's watching.
I always say, like, I'm so jealous of people who I find out are watching it for the first time.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate, like, I just wish I could Men in Black, erase my brain and go back and watch that again. For whatever reason, I remember I was on that from day one. I remember I used to have a tiny blog before I did any of this, and I remember putting up a post being like, check out this show. I think it's going to be good. And I remember I was watching it on an iPod Touch.
Yeah, nice.
I was commuting from school, and I was like all over it from the very beginning.
Oh, cool.
And so when it really popped, I was like, I felt like, when a band goes pop. And I'm like, I've been telling you guys.
Yeah.
This show's so
And
good.
that's what happened when between the 5th and the 6th, I called it 5th and 6th. They called it 5A and 5B.
Yeah.
Why is that?
They tried to fuck us on money.
I know why.
We know how the biz works. Yeah. We know it's the same season. It's just a year apart.
Such bullshit.
Such
man.
bullshit. We got Brian. Actually, Cranston was the kind of the leader on that. He said, no. We all get our bumps that we're supposed to get for the next season. Blah,
Let's
blah,
just
blah.
make one 150 long episode season.
Yeah. And we're like, nah, doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
But between that 5th season where I discovered it on the toilet thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that final season, that was when it was like the fucking Rolling Stones for about 6 months. Man.
Which I'm so happy that you guys at least got that, because we've talked to people who have had shows where they're like, it really was not big when we were on, so it was just a job, and then became a cult classic or whatever afterwards. But to get a little taste of that at the same time, is
it
cool.
was nice, man. We'd have like 4 bodyguards going into Comic-Con. Each person, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was when Cranston went into Comic-Con as Walter White, right?
That's
He had,
right.
like, the mask on.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was actually a 10-year anniversary of the original show.
Oh, okay.
We went back to Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And in San Diego, and that's when he wore the mask of himself.
So awesome.
You said something interesting there that I thought was interesting when you were talking about how like directors loved it and writers loved it and all that stuff. I feel like that's how. Do you seen The Studio on Apple TV right now?
Not yet. I can't wait though.
It's. I feel like everyone kind of has the same response. Like people who watch TV are like, "This is great."
Yeah.
But I don't know if the general public has caught on yet.
Gotcha.
Do you think just Netflix is what really kind of got you?
Yeah,
From
I mean that put us
directors.
from AMC on channel 355 into worldwide
Everybody's-
fucking you know. And like I said, I think it was 30+% of their streaming back in the day. I still have a couple of discs, by the way, CDs that I haven't returned.
You never returned.
I never returned it. Back in the day, you remember you had to mail the fuckers
Dude,
in.
I had a whole system. I was in
Also-
college at the time. I got the 7 discs at a time package,
right.
And I had a DVD burner,
Yeah.
And I burned maybe I had like a binder of like 350 movies,
Yeah.
And I would just get 7 at a time. I wouldn't even watch them. I would just burn them.
put them in, yeah.
And I mean, everybody came to me. I should have run a business. I was just lending them out, but
So
I
you
could have been like
basically ripped
$5.
us off.
I was
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
I stole
Breaking
probably,
Bad was saving Netflix while Kevin was killing it.
Thanks.
piracy.
You guys love that, right? Love that piracy thing.
Make this your best season yet with nutritious 2-minute meals from Factor. Eating well has never been this easy. Okay, it is. You don't even have to cook to eat healthy anymore. It is just food warmed up. Heat up and enjoy, giving you more time to do what you want. Get outside instead of prepping and cooking indoors. Factor meals arrive fresh and ready to eat. Perfect for any active lifestyle. Doesn't matter how you're active. Active lifestyle, I feel like you picture you going to the gym. Doesn't matter if you're just doing stuff. Factor is hugely important. And again, you just pop it in the microwave. Boom, there's your meal. It is done. With 45 weekly menu options, you can pick gourmet meals that fit your goals. Choose from Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. Factor powers your day with satisfying breakfasts, on-the-go lunches, premium dinners, and guilt-free snacks and desserts. It is easy to savor more this spring. Factor meals pack in the flavor with none of the fuss. It's delicious. It's easy. It's somehow science-defining how the steak gets done medium rare in the microwave. It's all just unbelievable. Get Factor now. Get Factor now at factormeals.com/KFC50off. That's KFC50off. One more time I'm going to say that, Cokes. It's different. KFC50OFF to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's so much. Like, just think about it. Just think about what you spend on delivery and stuff like that in a week. It is free. Here's a full week of meal for half off. Free shipping. It's insane. That's code KFC50off, KFC50off at factormeals.com/KFC50off for 50% off plus free shipping.
Earlier you mentioned Europe. What were you doing in Europe? You said you were back from there.
What was I doing in Europe? I was in Europe a couple times. I wasn't.
Oh, excuse me.
Sorry. I wasn't working. I was just traveling. I was in Paris and did
Just
some other
traveling.
stuff. Yeah.
Also, I obviously read your Wikipedia earlier.
We call that research in the biz.
Yeah. You're valedictorian?
Yeah, smart guy.
I was a valedictorian.
I knew you went to Harvard. I didn't know you
Yeah.
were valedictorian.
Woo,
too.
baby.
Valedictorian, baby. Straight A's, man. Before now they have all these like A++ shit because but mine was a 4.0 when the 4.0 meant something.
But you can't go any
You
higher.
couldn't get
That's
higher.
it.
Now you can get like 4.5.
You had straight A's at Harvard.
straight A's. Not at Harvard, in high school.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah,
got it.
valedictorian.
But then you
in
went
high
to
school.
Harvard. Got it.
And I didn't. I'll tell you a little something about being a valedictorian because I was kind of a dick, and I didn't want to wear a collared shirt, so they wouldn't let me make the speech. They said you got principals trying to be whatever the fuck and I was an asshole. And he goes, well, you got to wear a collared shirt. And I'm like, well, I'm the valedictorian, man. I can
do
wear
whatever the fuck I want.
I said, I'm wearing a T-shirt because that's what I feel comfortable in. He goes, well, then you're not making the speech. I'm like, well, let the class president or whatever the fucking do it. But I'm the guy who should be, and I should be able to wear what I want. And I didn't.
And you did the speech?
I didn't get the speech.
No way.
What would you have said? What
You
would have been
put
your
10
message?
toes down?
Yeah.
You're like, I'm wearing
Fuck
a t-shirt.
collars.
I'm wearing a T-shirt.
I'm
for
wearing a
graduation.
T-shirt for graduation, and that's when I'm rolling, motherfucker. and I didn't.
What would you have said your message to the class would have been?
Would have been
Fuck collars.
have an espresso martini. John.
Would have been great for me,
You're gonna
man.
be old enough soon. You'll be in college. Enjoy your life.
Were you? So you went to Harvard.
Yeah.
Were you acting or like did you do a full?
There was no
education
there was no acting program there. So I majored in what they called social studies, which was a combination of history, politics, and economics. And but I did 2 to 3 to 4 plays a year.
Cool.
In at Harvard, extracurricularly.
Yeah.
So that we had the ART, the American Repertory Theater, was there. They just moved there from Yale, which is the defining great drama school, and then Brustein moved to Cambridge and started his thing there. So I got to like understudy equity actors at the time and do things like that. But then all the student productions, I just did. There were productions there. There were productions at a house that people lived in, and yeah, I must have done.
Did you just smash them, or are you just like?
I don't
like, holy shit, this guy.
I don't want to be this guy, but they would have like the unified like audition week for all the plays that would come that next semester, right?
Yeah.
And like I'd just go in and audition for all of them, and then they had the list up, and it's like Norris.
That's
good.
I was like, all right. I think I'm onto something here.
I'm onto something here. So I picked the ones with the best good-looking girls, because that's the kind of artist I am.
That's how I got my first girlfriend. I was acting at the high school play, and she was like the female lead. And
I
had sex with the first time.
Is that what hasty puddings? Is it pudding or puddings?
Hasty pudding.
Pudding. I've heard of that so many times. I know it's very esteemed. I don't really know what it is.
It is it's like a club that members join, but separately from that, they have this I did one, and it was fucking so much fun. Separately, they have this production every year, and you don't have to be in the club to be in the production. So, and they have this big, nice theater, and we would take it over for like a month. And it's all guys. So some guys had to dress up as women. That was when I was hot. And they have some great music in them. And we would have buckets on the side of the stage because people would be so fucked up they would puke.
No way.
Yeah. And I had so many great, and you do the kick line at the end, like we're all like fucking drinking whiskey. And it was the best. Then we took a trip to New York. We did a show in New York. Then we did on spring break. We did a show in somewhere in the Bahamas, and it was
great.
It was a great. I wouldn't never do it again because that was like just ruined you for that semester. I mean, you were like it was nonstop partying, and hanging out with great guys. I still have some great memories and great friends from that. Hasty pudding. Yeah.
So the hasty put like the I know Conan's been honored, and I think Adam Ray was this year, and I'm sure I think Jon Stewart, and there's been a million.
Yeah.
But that's essentially what it is. It's just getting fucked up and
well, that's what it was for the theater, Hasty Pudding Theater. That's for sure. The theatrics. Now there also is a club and of guys who just are members of the club. Sort of like a fraternity, but not really. You don't live there, kind of thing.
Got it.
So, but the theater was something separate, and we would do that, and I some rough grades that semester.
The 4.0 went out the window.
that was gone.
So Law and Order is the organized crime unit, right?
Yeah.
So they've all there's a bunch of different spin-offs at this point, right?
Yeah.
That's
What's Dick Wolf's house like?
I haven't seen it. I've been told about it.
Yeah, I bet, man. It's
not a house. I think it's a compound.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I mean, what is he? The richest? Dick Wolf, right? He's got to be the richest guy. And
if there's someone richer than him, they've done really invented.
Well. It's probably Seacrest.
Maybe. I don't know, man. You got FBI, 3 of them. You've got.
Does he do NCISs? Are those him?
No, I think that's someone different.
But he does Chicago, right?
He does
Chicago.
Any civic service in Chicago, he's got to show about it.
Yeah, that's right. And he like owns like nights, right? Like Thursday is all Dick Wolf. Wednesday is all Dick Wolf.
Crazy.
It's like,
I think we used to sell a T-shirt that just said executive producer Dick Wolf.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how really. Like, there's not many executive producers that you know of. You know what I mean? Unless they're also a director or an actor or something. When you're just like the producer and everyone knows your name.
Yeah.
And can associate a noise. You say Dick Wolf, you hear that dun dun.
Yeah. How about that? No
awesome.
kidding.
That's a great one to add to the resume, man. That's got to be cool.
It is fun. It's nice to be in that world. And like I said, I love hanging out with Maloney, and Mishka Hargitay makes an appearance. All right, so this restaurant I got, right? So, I served my barbecue. It's great, literally great barbecue. So Maloney always gives me shit. He's like, it's the king of the brisket, and brisket king and stuff like that. So I get the second episode, which was written by Maloney.
Okay.
And Mariska Hargitay comes in. I can say this because it's already out. So she comes in the second episode. He's comatose. She comes in to visit him at the hospital. And Randall, my character's there, and he sees her, and he's like, well, he's fucking comatose. I'm going to make my move, right? And so he's like, hey, baby, you want some brisket?
No! Really?
Yeah. And Randall's so fucking non-smooth and, like, not a good, he has no game whatsoever.
Yeah.
So that's literally over a comatose body of Chris Maloney, Elliot Stabler. I'm like, hey, you like brisket? That's my go-to line. That's Randall's go-to line. I make some of the best brisket.
Very tender.
I got 2 15-footers and a 12-footer out back there running 24/7.
Size matters, baby. Size matters. You, baby.
Are you living in the city while you shoot?
I do.
Yeah. Do you like that?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool, like, even just being someone who lives in the city, like, when you're walking around and you see the permits up, like, Law and Order shooting on the street, like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. No,
it's
cool.
a real, like, New York moment. You're like, damn, they're shooting Law and Order here?
It's one of those things I take for granted, like, I mean, every movie and every show, every TV, every movie and show is shot in New York. So I guess when other people are from living in different places watch it, it's like this famous, backdrop or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm always like, oh, that's where I take my train. Or that's like the corner where I work or whatever. It's I take it for granted.
It's a great. I mean, obviously, it's a great, wonderful city, man, and it's nice to be able to enjoy it. Like I said, when I was here originally, I was sleeping on a couch for $200.
Yeah.
Where was it?
It was Upper West Side, some 82nd-ish, 86, something like that. And it was this lesbian woman who needed some money, and she goes, "You can get that couch right there." So I had my suitcase and this was my couch. Yeah,
I thought you meant you were crashing like a buddy's house.
No, literally, it was like $200. Yeah, I was like looking in the classifieds over there. Oh, roommate for $200. I'm like, I'm your roommate.
Are you enjoying the city more now?
A little bit different of an experience, I'd say.
A little different experience, yeah.
When you're at this point in your career, do you? I'm starting to find it in my walk of life that like everything feels like cyclical, like things that you thought were maybe a failure, like 5-10 years later come back around, or this trend you were a little too early on and now it's starting to hit. And the reason I asked that is because I was watching that show Paradise on Hulu. Have you seen that at all?
I have not seen it.
It's like post-apocalyptic world, and they make an underground city for like human race to continue on.
Right.
And the first thing that popped to mind was Under the Dome.
And
I was thinking, like, and this has been fairly successful. Sterling K. Brown's in it, and it's caught on a little bit. And I was like, this was right there with Under the Dome, And I think that had like 3 seasons, maybe?
3 seasons, yeah.
But I loved that concept, and like I thought, like something like that now in the world of Black Mirror and all these kind of like sci-fi things. And if it was just like a 10-episode season, I feel like that would smash,
Yeah.
But maybe back then it didn't, quite fit or whatever. So just interesting to watch how some of these ideas kind of resurface.
Yeah, and that, of course, was based on a Stephen King book.
Right.
Who wrote a couple of the episodes. I got to meet him and hang out with him on set. He
cool?
was fantastic.
Yeah.
I remember you wonder, like, these. I'm not a writer and like the mind of writers, but I remember talking to him. He was a big fan of. He was an early fan of Breaking Bad. He was. I don't know if he had a blog or something, but he was one of the first like celebrity people who went on record to say, "Man, I love the show.
Cool.
You guys got to watch it." Blah blah blah.
Is that how you got the gig, or is that just coincidence?
No. It was This was. Right after Breaking Bad was finished, and I got to, no more audition. And I walked into it was Nina Tasso, the head of CBS. That was the audition, was you walking in and saying hi to her, And literally an hour later, like, we want to play this guy. I'm like, fuck, life's better.
It's a lot easier than it was. Yeah. That's great, man.
But he was there, and I remember him sitting there, and he was just kind of sitting. He goes, I should do a story. He was watching the sound guy with the headphones on, doing the sound. And he said, I looked at that guy, and all of a sudden I see blood dripping down his ears. I'm like, fuck, that's why he's Stephen King. Right?
He sees these things
constantly.
in his brain.
And it was a great image, though, show the sound guy, and all of a sudden blood starts I was like, all right. That's why you wrote 200 fucking books. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
What's a role that you've had that you had to act the least? Like, where you were just like, this is me. I just got to be me here.
A lot of the cop roles. I
was gonna say, it feels like it comes naturally. Like the Hank role seems like who you are, at least.
Yeah,
Yeah,
certainly. I certainly brought a lot of myself to it. Of course, I thought it was funny because the early Hank was much more fun and kind of more me. But by the third season, I was like, do I have to audition again? Because I'm reading this thing, and it's like, now he's got PTSD, and he's it was all, it was dreadful and
totally
hard
shifted,
and, and he was in, his life was falling apart to a certain extent. So it was an interesting kind of route to get there, you know what I'm saying? And that was just Vince Gilligan, man. He, I think he got to know me a bit. I think he's on the record of saying this, and he thought, we can do some more interesting stuff with him,
Yeah.
So
that's pretty cool to have a writer of Vince Gilligan's ilk be like, dude, you can do it.
Yeah.
You got this.
Yeah. So
are you sure, man?
I was like, do I have to audition again? I'm like,
But what's cool about Breaking Bad is like, Brian had Malcolm in the Middle,
right.
and like, everybody was kind of successful, probably in their own right, but there was no superstar.
Right.
You guys all became superstars together, which is,
right.
I think, probably a kind of a rare or pretty cool experience where
it was great, and Brian was such a spokesperson and leader. He was like the father of our show. He was such a good guy.
Yeah.
To in 6 years, man, he never showed up late to the set. He was always the first guy on the set. So that set the tone for everybody else.
Yeah. It's like sports, man. It's like the captain of the team.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, all right, that motherfucker's I'm gonna beat his ass.
Can you show up an hour late, bro?
I'm gonna sleep in.
I remember them saying that about Modern Family.
Oh, really?
Where they were like, Ed O'Neill.
Ed
O'Neill wasn't ever going to be late, so we weren't ever going to be late.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I didn't know that. That's And it really set the tone. He would write us little emails every beginning of a new season, like, that was a great season last year, but let's all see if we can reach down and do a little better this year. Yes, Brian, I'll do it for you.
KFC Radio is sponsored by BetterHelp, and folks, let's talk numbers. Traditional in-person therapy can cost anywhere from $100 to $250 per session or more if you live in New York City, which adds up fast. But with BetterHelp Online Therapy, you can save, on average, up to 50% per session. With BetterHelp, you pay a flat fee for weekly sessions, saving you big on cost and time. Therapy should feel accessible, not like a luxury. With online therapy, you get quality care at a price that makes sense and can help you with anything from anxiety to everyday stress. Your mental health is worth it. And now it is within reach. Again, everyone in this room has used and benefited from therapy. And with over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is one of the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. It's convenient, too. You can join a session with the click of a button, helping you fit therapy into your busy life. Your well-being is worth it. Visit BetterHelp.com/KFC today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/KFC for 10% off your first month.
Do you think Breaking Bad is done?
Yes.
No more spin-offs, no more movies, no nothing?
Nothing.
Is that your opinion, or that?
That's my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like it's something, if the phone rings and it's Vince Gilligan, everyone's probably in, you think?
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah, it's not one of those things where it's like, no, I'm done with that. But you think he's...
I think he smartly ended it, and it's part of the. I think it's part of the appeal of that show is that this is it. It ended, and this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how. I mean, they're already doing the prequel kind of thing with the movie and Better Call Saul and stuff. I don't think there's any.
So
I could be
here's
wrong.
what I always thought. I actually think there's two people I would watch a spinoff for.
Yeah.
I would watch your whole career.
Yeah.
And I also thought a show called No Half Measures with Mike Ehrmantraut.
Yeah,
he was. I
so
would watch
good.
the shit out of those. So Vince,
Yeah.
if you're, when we're done with Law and Order, you want to pick up the phone?
Yeah.
I just think
I might be. I'm not even sure I can say that. I can say it's fucking. I'm going to be writing the oral history of Breaking Bad.
No
Just
shit.
signed a deal to do that. Yeah.
That's fucking
So I get to
awesome.
talk to all my castmates. And,
So is that like a podcast?
It'll be a book.
Book.
Yeah.
Cool.
Big
Dude,
publisher.
that's gotta
That
be
is
really
awesome.
cool.
Yeah. So I just talked to Vince about it to make sure he was he'd be involved, and he said yeah. And
Did you come up with this idea?
no, they came to me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like
I forgot whatever the
network?
publisher is. No, the
Publisher. Okay,
yeah,
got it.
I-
And then you
I
clear
should
with him.
know.
Okay.
I should know. those guys, Harper Collins or some shit like that. I don't know.
Penguin or some shit.
Yeah, I'm like, how much? Yeah, fuck yeah, I'll write that. But
that's gonna be a smash, brother. Especially if everyone's involved.
Yeah, like, just telling stories. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun book.
Is that gonna be like do they come with everything, or you have your input on like
I'll have my input
this chapter
on the stuff.
that chapter?
Yeah. I'll have
cool.
We have obviously a writer guy, but yeah, we've already talked about how we're going to shape it and what was important, what was not. I'm just trying to get a lot of the stories that people haven't heard about, just from the actors and all the different people. And, because it really is. We were talking about this earlier about binging and Netflix. I mean, it was a seminal show that took TV into that sphere, the streaming sphere. You know what I'm saying?
And that it was the anti-heroes, like The Sopranos and Breaking Bad. And like there's probably like 5 shows I think that were like
The Shield.
Yeah, The Shield was a great one. Like that really, I think at least from a fan point of view, turned television like. I feel like it used to be movies and then television on the side, and now it's like just as important, if not more, because of shows like that.
Yeah, and we talked a lot about that, and I always like to bring up the fact that I think technology had something to do with it, because people started getting TVs in their homes that needed cinema level. TV. You can't be watching Three's Company on it's fine when you watch it on that, but when you're watching it as big as that, you got the sound system, you want a cinema level.
That's a great point. I never thought of that.
And I think that kind of helped bring all those shows in that
it's
direction.
Like you brought movies into the home, and then you brought television to the movies level of entertainment. And it was, it's obviously so good, but to me it's I feel like there's a lot of debate about other shows, great shows, but to me it's like I've really never heard anybody.
There's not a fucking debate.
There's no debate. No, I meant debate like The Sopranos is great, but like do you like the ending, or Lost was so good, but it never tied up loose ends. Like all these things that you can kind of, if you're nitpicking, pick apart a show.
Right.
I don't think there's that would break it. Like
I don't think there is.
It started good. It ended perfect. Perfect amount of time. The perfect story. It's just.
And fucking Hank was insane.
Oh yeah,
he was so good in that show. You're the guy.
He was the best, dude.
He's
Norris, handsome.
He was fucking one of the best looking guys on TV.
I believe you said that your favorite part for you was the toilet scene, figuring out everything. Does that make sense? Oh.
Nope. Excuse me. Look at that hairy chest.
There you go.
You're like, you can't wear a V-neck. I'm like, fuck you. I was valedictorian.
I was valedictorian. I hope that principal's watching right now.
Right there. Well, that was one of my favorite scenes. I think personally, my favorite scene was in season 3. Right before I almost get my head whacked with the cartel guys that came with the axe. Mm-hmm. But before that, and it's a little remembered scene, but I sit on my bed with my wife Betsy, and I have this whole. I would read it and I couldn't like practice it without kind of tearing up, and they're like, you can't cry. I'm like, all right, I'm trying not to, but it was him saying, honey, the universe is trying to tell me something. I just don't think I'm meant to be a cop. And for that guy, to have reached that moment, and then he goes in and they take his badge away because this is after he beat up Jesse Pinkman.
Yep.
And they take his badge away, and he's like, you know what, I'm okay with that. And then the fucking cartel guy, 1 minute. It's called 1 minute, and that's they gave, and it was 60 seconds from the call. They're like, somebody's coming over, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then gets that big axe. I mean, that's a great scene.
It's a great, and I remember after, like, why didn't he have his gun?
Yeah.
Why didn't he have his gun?
Because they took it. Yeah. They took it in the he had to turn in his gun and his badge.
But I mean, fuck, I'm forgetting your wife's name.
Betsy Brandt, Marie.
Yes. Yeah. But when Marie's talking to the sergeant and being like, why doesn't he have his gun?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I took him.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys.
When you were talking about the book, I was thinking about how you guys have, like, your cast feels like a family. Yeah. And I think that's partly because you shot, like, on location and kind of had to be around each other so much.
Yeah.
Do you prefer one versus the other, like on location versus on set?
Yeah, it's always nice. I just did a movie called The Parenting, which just came out. And we were all in Concord, Massachusetts.
Fuck yeah.
And we were all in this small town. And, like, I lived with Lisa Kudrow and Parker Posey in the same house.
No.
And we all just kind of hung out, And it was such a fun shoot. And I think it shows in the movie that we all just hung out. Edie Falco was in it. And she'd come over. We'd have game night. We'd have movie night.
Wait, so you, Lisa Kudrow, and Parker Posey
yeah.
would just sleep in the same house and, like, wake up and make
categories
breakfast?
and shit?
Yeah.
Like, let's play Taboo, watch a movie.
That's right. Sit on the
great.
porch because I wouldn't smoker, but they'd be smoking and would just go out there. Hey, what's going on? And
Dude, that's awesome.
That was
That's
awesome. And not only that, we would just improv for the fun of it, and so we would just start riffing on shit, And Lisa Kudrow's a genius, and Parker Posey's a genius, particularly in comedy and particularly in improv. And it was some of the most fun times. And Edie Falco, and it was great.
Was this pre or post White Lotus for Parker?
Pre.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a couple years ago. How about the White Lotus, man?
We gotta get you
I'm
in
a
White
fan.
Lotus, bro. I think you'd be great in White Lotus.
Oh man, I'm a fan. It's
Yeah.
such a cool thing, right?
I think you could be like a father figure who's like a tough guy, but he's like trying to figure some shit out, whatever it is. Like I think that would be great. That show is. Have you watched all 3 seasons?
Yes.
What do you think of this latest season?
I thought it was great.
So do I.
I think it might have been as good as any other.
I've actually only seen this season.
Oh, really?
I haven't seen 1 or 2, and I was like, "This is now I'm going back and watching 1
yeah,
and 2.
and you can
but,
watch them obviously not in order, and it's
Right.
fantastic.
I think there's something. It's an interesting show. I think when you reach such a level of popularity, it's almost a good thing when you start to get picked apart and criticized, because it's like, we're acknowledging that you're on this level, so now we're going to give you this level of criticism.
Right.
But it's also like, I would imagine Mike White is like fucking furious sometimes when he sees, and of course it's successful. It's like it broke records for their finale. It's not like he's failing, but there are some people out there talking shit, and it's just like. What else? What do you need to do? I actually said this on the podcast with these guys. It's like, no matter what you're doing, just bear in mind that Mike White is like catching some heat. So like, you're always gonna have haters, and you're always gonna have.
Yeah.
But I thought season 3 was freaking
fantastic.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, it's fucking the acting. The acting is always great in that. But Walter Goggins and
he is unreal, man.
He's just unreal in that show.
He's another one. He there's probably not many guys who can rival your resume with the list we just rattled off, but he's up there. Walton has a lot of shows, man.
Yeah, I love him, man. He's such a good actor, and Jason Isaacs. I mean, that whole thing was just crazy and awesome. That started during the COVID, right? Because that's why it started as a contained in one place story.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, because of COVID. So they all lived in the same place. He wrote it fairly quickly, and they got it done during the COVID time. So then the concept of being in one resort, one location, just continued on. But that was a COVID.
I didn't know that. I remember it was in that time, obviously. But
that's why they were able to shoot it, and a lot of people weren't shooting at the time.
I saw a clip recently of Rob Lowe on a podcast talking about kind of like how Hollywood is a little bit like a ghost town right now, because for taxes and money, like it's you shoot in Istanbul or you shoot wherever, and he was kind of saying that he's had projects that were like ready to go, and then people find out it's not shooting in LA, and they're like, fuck it, I'm done. It felt like something that was maybe a little bit over dramatic to me, but like, is that really a concern? Is that a thing?
It's a concern for some people. I like being on location myself. I like being in new places, and living in New York for a while. Why not?
Yeah.
So it's never been a concern for me, and I live outside of LA anyway. I live like an hour and a half outside. So once I moved out from LA, I did a sitcom for 2 years in LA, and that was it for 20 years. I've been living in where I live now for 22 years. And in all that time, I've only had one job in LA.
Wow.
Everything else has been location.
Shit.
Yeah.
So you definitely don't care then.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm good to go. Yeah.
And I don't miss it. I mean, I loved it when I was single and
I'm sure.
Hanging in the day, but I was like, I get too much traffic. That old guy, God damn it, too much traffic. When I was younger.
That's great, man. Well, let me ask you one last question about Breaking Bad, because we were just saying how almost perfect it is.
Yeah.
Is there anything you would have changed? Was there any like a storyline or a script or something where you were like, I don't know if I would have done this, Vince?
No. And I think everybody else in the cast would, at the beginning of the seasons, go into the writing room and kind of the writer's room and kind of pitch their stuff. I was the only guy that never did.
You do your
I was
thing.
like, you know what, man? What do I have to say to Vince Gilligan and the writers? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, guys, I got this idea. Yeah, exactly. Can we do this? I'm like, nothing I could come up would be as good as they come up with.
Which is commendable in this day and age, I feel like, where everyone's like, I can do it.
I've got
you're
an
an expert. I've hired an expert. You do this. I'll do the part I'm good at.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. I never
But
had.
what was Vince Gilligan's history before that? Was he like well established to the point that?
Yeah, he was like a Dean Norris before Breaking Bad. I mean, he wrote on the X-Files.
Oh, right. I knew that. Yes,
and that was his biggest credit. But he had also written some movies. He did a movie called Wilder Napalm, which didn't, and I was actually in it, and I had to remind him I was in it. And the first day we were on
No
set,
way.
because I was just, it was like a long time ago. It was like a one scene kind of thing. I was a cop,
Yeah.
and I wore, but I got the, they always give you something when you wrap it, a T-shirt or a jacket. So I wore the Wilder Napalm jacket to our first read through. And reminded him that I was.
He's like, "Where the hell did you get that?"
Yeah.
You stole it from your trailer. Before we let you go, I got one more thing. What's going on with the crypto?
Oh fuck! Did you see that?
I follow you, dude. You get hacked by crypto guys all the time.
Jesus Christ! How'd
I see it?
That was the weirdest fucking thing that ever happened to me in my life. And my favorite part is everyone's pissed at me. I'm like, fuck you. If I made money, you could be pissed at me. I didn't get shit. Because I don't do my Twitter that much anymore, And I literally had people going, hey, do you got a crypto? I'm like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, son of a bitch.
Dude, you were pumping crypto for weeks.
I
don't remember exactly how long it was, but it wasn't a day.
No, but it wasn't me. They were brilliant, man. Because my Twitter got hacked, and I get a call, and it says Twitter and 415 area code to Twitter support. You've been hacked. I'm like, yeah, thanks for calling. Blah blah blah. And they're like, yeah, but we need to be sure it's you. I said, okay, what do you need? We need to take a picture and hold this thing up for the date. So I'm like, oh, so yeah, that's me. They're like, okay, man, we're gonna fix this for you. And it was these fucking scammers.
I was gonna say, give me your mother's maiden name, your social security number.
But I mean, it said Twitter, and it was 415 from Samsung. I was like, all right, and I just got hacked. So I'm like, all right, these guys are on it.
They're on. Yeah, Elon's got them running tip-top shape right now.
Yeah, I never got hacked until Elon bought the thing. I got hacked like 3 times since then. But yeah, and I was like, oh, there's this meme coin, and people somebody be like, yeah, I made 10x, I made 3x. Like, fuck, I lost my rent, man. We're coming for you. I'm like, fuck, I don't even know what you're fucking talking about. I wish I had some of that Dean meme.
That's great. Dean's like, well, the Nigerian prince emailed me and said he made money. I told him I was going to save his family. I'm sorry.
I'm a good guy that way. I literally called some crypto guys and said, hey, can I do this for real?
They already think I did, so let's get paid.
He says, if you're lucky, you make $500,000, you're going to get a lawsuit from the SEC. I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, I remember while it was ongoing, and I was like, I've met Dean before. He didn't seem like a crypto guy, but
I mean, I would have had I known. I would have bought the shit. He
was a valedictorian. He's pretty smart.
Well, man, congrats on Law and Order.
Thank you.
And the book sounds like it's gonna be awesome. I'm sure there's plenty of things to come for you.
Yeah,
You're a young
will
man.
you please come by to promote the book?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, man. Definitely,
I would really love that.
Definitely.
That would be great, man. I think that's gonna be. I'm sure you know it yourself, but I think that's probably gonna be even bigger than you might realize.
I think it's gonna be fun, man.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
So, congrats, man. This is
Thanks,
awesome.
man.
Pretty
Always
good.
good to see you guys.
Great to see you.
Cheers, brother. All right.
All right, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, and leave a comment below. Click that button.
Or I'll cut off my finger.